their title. Lionel Messi has won the World Cup.
Nicole there on SVS. It's only the third time the Cup has been won by a penalty shootout. Still on soccer, and Melbourne Victory may be forced to play its remaining matches behind closed doors as part of the potential sanctions likely to be imposed after fans invaded the pitch at Amy Park on Saturday night. 2 people have already handed themselves into police. Charges are yet to be laid, and the hunt continues for many more. It's estimated more than 150 fans jumped the fence and ran riot, injuring Melbourne City goalkeeper Tom Glover and a cameraman. Former Adelaide United coach John Cosmina was shocked by what he saw.
That was just way over the top. It was immature and it was cowardly. If they'd have just walked out, put their signs up and walked out, that's a sensible statement, and it's probably the way you do things in the 21st century. This harks back to the early days of the NSL.
A 5-year-old boy is recovering in hospital after being attacked by a dingo in Queensland. He'd been holidaying with his family on Fraser Island when he was mauled at the Ocean Lake campground, suffering injuries to his head, arm and back. It's a big day for Year 12 students with SACE results out today. They'll be available online from 8:30. While the university sector's demanding an overhaul of the migration system to simplify the visa process. Universities Australia's calling for temporary graduate visas to be granted automatically to all international students. Some wait up to 10 months post-graduation to be allowed to work. Universities Australia Chief Katrina Jackson says we're losing smart and hard-working people to other countries.
The system really does need a hard reset. We think we're losing people, both who've graduated already and would stay on, but I think we're also losing people who are thinking about coming to Australia. Only 16% of those terrific, really high-value, really smart, really hard-working international graduates stay here and work.
Posties switching to electric delivery vehicles are causing headaches for councils and local residents. Brian Wilson explains.
Posties are swapping their motorcycles for larger electric trikes, resulting in the organisation writing to local councils asking them to make extra space on footpaths by removing trees and bushes. The trikes carry triple the load and need more space, but the move has angered many local residents, saying they want their trees and greenery to remain. Australia Post says it didn't ask for trees to be removed, but simply asked councils to clear footpaths of vegetation that may impede the progress of the trikes. Over 3,000 of the new electric trikes are being rolled out around the country.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
And good morning, Jace.
And a very good morning to you, Kendall. As we've heard, Argentina has won the World Cup, defeating France in a penalty shootout following a 3-3 draw. French star Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick, twice helping his side come from behind. But the South Americans won the shootout 4-2. Lionel Messi finally securing the trophy that eluded his whole career. Former Socceroo Craig Foster telling SBS she couldn't write a better script for Messi's World Cup farewell.
This fairy tale set up so perfectly for him to step into the giant shoes of Diego Maradona, and no one else likely in the history of the game could have even attempted to do that.
In the cricket, Australia has clinched a 6-wicket win over South Africa in the first test at the Gabba. The match wrapped up within 2 days, with Australia only needing 34 runs for victory. Steve Smith says it was a one-sided affair for the bowlers.
Very challenging for us batters from both sides, in particular with 2 quality pace attacks. So fingers crossed the wicket's a little bit better in Melbourne.
Meantime, in the Big Bash, the Sydney Thunder has gone down to the Melbourne Renegades by 4 wickets. Well, finally, Cole Chalmers has helped Australia break a world record in the men's 4x100 metre medley relay at the Short Course Swimming World Championships. Australia tying with the USA to share gold in the final race. And that's the 5AA Sport.
To the weather, mostly sunny and 34, a shower or two tomorrow, 31, showers and a possible storm Wednesday, 27, then cloudy and 23 for Thursday. At the moment, 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
Good morning to you. 6 after 6 on this Monday, the 19th of December. It is Lucy Lokan and Tom Rehn in the chairs this week. Morning, Rennie.
Morning to you, Lucy. Great to be on board. I'm very excited. I've been in holiday mode for a couple of weeks, but it is great to see your smiling face and to hear you last week as well with Michael doing a brilliant job.
Yeah, you've come back. You've had 2 weeks off of Channel 9 and AA. You've come back for a 1 week appearance.
Little cameo, little special.
Thank
but
you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, feeling great and refreshed. And I'll tell you what, I'm pretty excited after what I've just witnessed this morning. I think one of the all-time great World Cup, not just finals, but matches that epic between France and Argentina was just phenomenal. So I'm privileged to have been able to watch it in 48 hours or so, Lucy, that has just been horrific, really, for the World Game here in Australia, at least anyway, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But in terms of the final itself, I mean, Lionel Messi, we just heard there with Jace Kemp in Sport, how significant it has been for him and also for Kylian Mbappe to score a hat-trick in a World Cup final but still lose. I mean, just amazing. We'll talk about it a lot this morning, but for those waking up, 3-3, 2-2 after full time, 3-3 after extra time, and then a penalty shootout, only the third time in history it's gone that far. Just incredible scenes over there in Qatar.
So France won it last time, is that right?
Yeah, they did.
Lucky enough to make the final again and have lost their crown.
Exactly right. So France were looking to do what Italy did, I think, in 1934 and 38, go back-to-back. But Argentina, they spoiled the party. And Lionel Messi, I mean, you've heard David Pemberthy many times speak about Diego Maradona and the legacy that he left. I mean, they're almost impossible shoes to fill. But I think he's done that. And we just heard Craig Foster as well, you know, a 7-time Ballon d'Or winner, 35 trophies at Barcelona, but he's never won the World Cup. And this is, I think, something that completes him holistically as a player, and his legacy just phenomenal.
Lionel Messi will no doubt be partying for the next week straight, I would say.
I reckon things will be pretty much a party in Argentina. Can you imagine the scenes there at the moment? It would just be chaotic, what they've been able to achieve. First time since 1986. They are a football mad nation. And to think as well, Lucy, they started with a loss to Saudi Arabia, remember? But I think since then they've probably been the best team in the tournament, so it's fully deserved.
Interesting with the time difference, it is 4:38 Sunday afternoon, Argentina time in Buenos Aires.
Well, I reckon surely they'd be calling a public holiday for tomorrow. I don't think there'd be too many people going to work on the Monday.
No, people will be up at this rate all evening and all night. Surely. It's 4:38 in the afternoon. There's a lot of time left in the day to celebrate.
And they'll celebrate hard. Third time they've won the World Cup too, Lucy. But, you know, they are a footballing mad nation. They love it. It is religion over there. And it's interesting because Lionel Messi quit the national team, you know, probably a decade or so ago. And I think it's because he felt like an outsider in many ways because he lived in Spain and people sort of treated him as such. But in the past 7 or 8 years, he's come back and he's felt a part of that team. He's now the leader of that team. And, I mean, he will be a god now for the rest of his life. And, you know, there'll be statues of him being erected as we speak. It's going to be that kind of shrine that will be, you know, for him for the rest of his life now. People are just going to love him forever.
For sure. If you watched the World Cup final this morning, give us a call, 8223 0000, right through till 9 o'clock. We'd love to hear from you. If you're a big Argentinian fan, if you're a disappointed French fan.
Yeah. Well, you speak French, Lucy.
Yeah, and then I'm embarrassed to say I totally forgot the final was even on.
You've been busy, though.
I know, but driving into work this morning when I heard the final result on the radio, I thought, oh, damn, I would really like to watch that, but oh, well, I'll just wait another couple of years, then watch the next final, and I hope that France are in that one as well. Talking of Buenos Aires, it's currently about 27 degrees at the moment in Buenos Aires. Currently, it is 23 degrees in the city. Warm overnight, got down to only 21. So if you tossed and turned a bit, if you live close to the city, got down to 21 degrees. High Marsh Island, though, a bit cooler, down to 13 overnight, but we are in for a top of 34 today. Also coming up on the show, give us a call if you want to chat about the World Cup or anything you like. This morning we're chatting sharks. There were 4 shark sightings over one weekend. It is shark season, of course, at our metro beaches. The snapper ban has been extended for another 3 years. It came in 2019. It's been introduced for another 3 years. If you are a fisherman grumpy about that, give us a call. 8223 or if you just want to know why, we're chatting with Shane Mansforth from the SA Angler magazine just after 7 o'clock. And after 8 o'clock, Adelaide's Rundle Mall Authority. Now, Christmas is only 6 days away. Rennie, have you done your shopping?
Did a fair bit of it because I have had the luxury of having the last couple of weeks off. Still got a bit to go, and we're actually having a big show at our place on Christmas Eve, so a lot of preparation for that this week. Need to go out and buy the food, etc. So that's going to be quite busy, but that's going to be a big shindig. But most of the kids' Christmas shopping, thankfully, is done. There's a little bit to go. There's always a few late requests, and that's what kids do. But need to do a little bit of that. So almost there. What about you?
Oh, I'm pretty well almost there, I think. Yeah, like you, always a last-minute thing that I'll think of. But, Christmas, Rundle Mall is doing extended shopping. Westfield at Marion, Thursday or Friday night, did extended shopping. They're doing it again this week. So there is time, of course, to get in and buy last-minute things. But the Retailers Association, I noticed this morning, have said 85% of people are all done.
That's incredible. And look, people are getting smarter, I think. Certainly a few people I know do their shopping throughout the year, waiting for the sales, and then they get stuff along the way. But Lucy, that is not me. I'm normally one of the 15% that is just leave it until the last minute, cram it all in.
I'm impressed that you've done a fair chunk of it already. It's still 6 days.
Well, when I say Sarah, as you know, has done most of it. But I'm usually a crammer, leave it until the last minute. And speaking of cramming, a lot of Year 12 students, Lucy, we've been in that position before, would have done their cramming, and today they get to realise their results. So we'll talk to someone from SACE about the Year 12s who'll get their results from the Year 12 SACE a little bit later this morning. I think from 8:30 the results become public online.
I think so. A lot of nervous Year 12s this morning. But good luck to them all. It's been and done now. You've just got to get
wait for the results. And for the families too, isn't it, Lucy? Parents, grandparents, everyone else. It's been a big journey for all of them, and it's a massive moment in their lives.
A lot of emotional energy goes into getting Year 12 results for sure. Now you can text us all morning 0448 08 1395 as Con has. Our Socceroos should be proud, only losing 2-1 to the world champs Argentina in the round of 16.
Yeah, we pushed them. They gave them a real fright. It was great. They did a fantastic job in that match, and in the end, we know Argentina went through and powered on. We actually played both of the sides. We, of course, lost to France in the first game 4-1 when Craig Goodwin scored that absolute beauty early on. But, not to be for the Socceroos, but still a fantastic World Cup. Hey, the other thing I'm looking forward to, and look, it's not a great topic, Lucy, but we're going to hear from Travis Dodd, former Adelaide United captain and Socceroo, at about 8:20 this morning. We saw those shocking scenes out of Melbourne on the weekend from the Melbourne Victory fans. So we'll get his thoughts on that and the final itself this morning between France and Argentina. So we'll dig a little bit deeper into that story as well. And the Christmas Day forecast is also out.
The all-important Christmas Day forecast is out. We will chat about that with the Weather Bureau in about half an hour's time. You can also tune in on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream this morning to see Rennie and myself. But we'll be back after this with news headlines.
I'm Kathy Nagel, Chief Executive of Western Hospital Henley Beach. Are you looking for a new GP? Western Hospital GP Clinic delivers primary care to all. Our GPs and experienced practice staff will assist you with your health journey and be there for you when you need it most, from young families to seniors. Healthcare assessments and care plans are just part of the services offered here at Western Hospital GP Clinic by our 12 friendly GPs. For more information or to make an appointment online, visit westernhospitalgp.com.au.
At Steinborner, it's always been well worth the trip. Now we're evolving to include Steinborner Electric, where it's well worth the trip to the future. With Hyundai, Kona Extended Range, Ioniq Electric and Ioniq 5. Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross Plug-in Hybrid, all-new Outlander Plug-in Hybrid, Ford Escape PHEV and e-Transit. And now the new Benzina Zero Electric scooters and mopeds. Thinking electric vehicles? There's only one place to go. Steinborner Electric. It's well worth the trip to the future.
Every year, families all over Adelaide enjoy the festive season with Chanellas because they make it so easy to get your shopping done.
Yeah, they certainly do, Lucy. In fact, to help you organise all your fresh Christmas eating, they'll be open from 6:30 a.m. on December the 23rd until 5:30 p.m. on December 24. Yep, that is a staggering 35 hours straight. You'll find all your fresh produce, chef-prepared meals and Christmas platters bakery, amazing patisserie, seafood, stunning fresh flowers, and all your butchery needs.
And remember, with Chanella's, everything is lovingly made in-house from scratch by their chefs and patisserie chefs. So call into 62 Prospect Road, Prospect, or go online at chanellasmarket.com.au. Chanella's, best and fresh. It's a way of life this Christmas.
Like shocks shooting through your body.
That's how some people describe their shingles pain. Shingles is caused by the reactivation of the chickenpox virus. While most people recover fully, up to 25% may experience long-term complications.
I had to cancel all my plans and struggled to work.
Up to 1 in 3 people risk developing shingles in their lifetime.
If you're 50 or over, don't let shingles affect your plans.
Talk to your doctor for more information. Individual symptoms may vary. Sponsored by GlaxoSmithKline Australia, Melbourne.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
Good morning to you. It is week 2 of 5AA Summer Breakfast. Lucy and Tom this morning, and you can text us 0448 08 1395. We are going to chat a bit more sport shortly, but let's check in with some news of the day. Front page of the Advertiser this morning, you'll see that Adelaide Lord Mayor Jane Lomax-Smith has floated the idea of closing Hindley Street to vehicles in order to create a 2.1 kilometre pedestrian strip. It is part of a city traffic review which will be undertaken in the new year, with professional modelling and community submissions to take place. The Adelaide City Council will also debate the future of Hindley Street in general and a wider West End overhaul.
Interesting, isn't it? I mean, I wonder the logistics and cost and whether it would work. You know, we know that Hindley Street can be a bit of an undesirable place, and we've had many stories this year after midnight, but I don't know, like first impressions, I don't mind the idea. I'd like to see a few more details before perhaps passing judgment, but interesting that that's being thrown forward. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't have many thoughts on it, to be honest, but I know the traders, the West End Trading Association, will definitely be thinking seriously about why this would be necessary. They probably appreciate having cars go through, and of course, if you do close all of Hindley Street, then you can walk from Pulteney Street straight down to West Terrace. Mm-hmm. That's a fair way to walk if you do want to. I think it is a sort of a main thoroughfare for those coming in and out on West Terrace. So I don't know, I think definitely community submissions were absolutely necessary in this instance.
Yeah, and you make a really good point about, you know, those traders that would be affected. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they think about it, but that would be a decent old trek from, you know, the east to the west end of Rundle Mall, wouldn't it?
Definitely. The peak industry body for Australian vegetables is reassuring people that leafy salad products are still available on the shelves and they are safe. A child in Queensland is among up to 100 people across the country who became sick over the weekend after eating contaminated spinach leaves. People are urged to throw out any recalled products being sold at Woolworths, Coles, Aldi and Costco that are linked to the toxic batch. 2 men have been charged after attempting to steal a pair of motorbikes from a crime scene in Weambilla. It's alleged the 23-year-old and 25-year-old Tara men, this is in Queensland of course, travelled on foot through bushland to the property on Waynes Road, about 300 kilometres west of Brisbane, where 3 people were tragically murdered last week. They've both been charged with 1 count each of unlawful trespass and stealing by looting. Unbelievable. This awful national tragedy, especially for the police force, and now people are looting the involved property address.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, what would drive people to even consider doing something like that is amazing. You know, surely, unless they had their heads buried in the sand, how could they not know what they were doing? It's just, you know, beyond words, really, that someone would even think to do something like that. You know, just amazing.
Meanwhile, gun safety advocates want uniform gun laws across all states and territories. It does follow the shooting murders of Constables Rachel McCrow and Matthew Arnold, along with their neighbour Alan Dare at Weambilla. The Australian Gun Safety Alliance's Stephen Bendel says legislation needs to keep up with changing technology.
We've got to make sure that we just keep up to date with things such as 3D printing, for example, of firearms, which we know is occurring.
3D printing of firearms terrifies me.
Yeah.
You can print anything on a 3D printer. You can make a house out of it. I had Invisalign retainers made out of a 3D printer, so it scares me that you can make firearms and ammo.
And this is it. I mean, thankfully we live in Australia where, you know, incidents such as what we've seen over the last week or so very rarely happen. But when they do, I think it brings into sharp focus, you know, things like gun laws and you know, controls. And thankfully it seems like most people are on the same page. And you're right, Lucy, you know, I think I'm on the same page as you. Anything we can do to control it or harness it, I think is a good thing. And, you know, the less sort of people that have got access to firearms, I think, personally, the better.
Absolutely. The last reforms were, of course, 1996.
Yep.
So 26 years on, might be time to have a reassessment. And people are being warned to be on high alert as scams ramp up over the Christmas holidays. CEO of Marketing, Jumpstart and Technology, Genius Ming Johansson. She says online hackers are targeting those this festive season with weak social media accounts.
Increasingly, we're seeing people's profiles being copied and then they're going off and messaging family and friends. One of the things to stop them dead in their tracks is actually turn your friends list to private.
This festive season, get all your shopping done and be careful of cyber scams.
Well, it's funny. Only about 2 weeks ago, was the last week I reckon I was at night, so about 3 weeks ago, someone created a fake Facebook account under my name. And I had a few people saying, hey, Rennie, what's going on with your Facebook? And they befriended these people that were using photos and stuff. So then reported it to Facebook, and thankfully it was shut down by the end of the day. But, you know, they are out there, and I think it happens regularly. And I don't know about you, Lucy, but I get so many calls or text messages, and it's easy to fall into the trap. You know, have you paid your bill? And, you know, most of them you can pretty quickly see that it is probably likely a scam. But, you know, there's so many out there. You've got to have your wits about you. Otherwise, you know, you can find yourself deep in a rabbit hole, put in your password. You know, we're all busy, got things to do. But it's almost daily, it seems like, you get a phone call or a text message, and it's all bogus. So it's concerning, but you've just got to think logically. Well, no, don't give private details. Common sense, but easier said than done sometimes.
You're right. People are busy, especially at Christmas time. You've got 100 other things on your mind, and you just don't think that someone would target you, and it's nearly either daily or weekly, which is scary. Now we're going for a top of 34 today, mostly sunny. It will be a warm one. As we said, it was warm overnight, only got down to 21 degrees in the city, currently 23 out there in Highmarsh Square. Tomorrow 31, a shower or two, 27 and showers on Wednesday. Between 0 and 15 mils, if you don't mind. Wednesday, the 21st of December, possible storm. Down to 23 and cloudy on Thursday before warming up for the weekend. We will chat about the all-important Christmas Day forecast in the next half an hour or so. But plenty of sport over the weekend. Rennie, 10-year warranty and 10-year cap price servicing at Agostino, Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Elizabeth. Where would you like to start?
Well, I think we have to start with the World Cup. I usually do my winners and losers for a Monday morning, Lucy. And let's start with the big winners, and they are Argentina. World Cup champions. If you're waking up this morning for the first time in 36 years after taking out the final against France, it was an incredible final. They led 2-0. Looked like they were home. France were dreadful, to be honest. Their tactics were questionable, but then they flicked a switch and they turned it on. Kylian Mbappe won a penalty, converted from the spot, and then scored about a minute later in the 81st minute a magnificent goal. Argentina then go 3-2 up in extra time, a goal from Lionel Messi, and then Mbappe, another penalty to make it 3-3. Goes down to a penalty shootout, and the Argentinians take it out. This is how they did it. It was all thanks to SPS. A great finish for what is a memorable World Cup final.
He is. Argentina have won the World Cup. France have lost their title. Lionel Messi has won the World Cup.
And he becomes an absolute legend. I mean, he, in many people's eyes, is one of the greatest players of all time, but this perhaps cements that even further. As I mentioned a little earlier, Lucy, 7-time Ballon d'Or winner, which means the best player in the world, 35 trophies at Barcelona, 672 goals for Barcelona, and 750 senior goals for club and country. He'd won everything, every title, individual and team. But this was the one, and at his 5th World Cup attempt, and what will be his last, he takes it out. And forever now, he is alongside the immortal Diego Maradona.
Yeah, thrilled for him.
Yeah, I think it's good. And look, I'm a huge Lionel Messi fan. He's just an incredible player. There's always that Messi-Ronaldo debate, perhaps unfairly because Ronaldo himself is a brilliant player, but Messi perhaps just edging his nose in front now. Portugal, of course, out in the quarterfinal stages. Other winners from the weekend are the Aussies and Travis Head, man of the match, which was a great effort. I'll talk a little bit more about the test match at 7:20, but it was a fascinating test match. 34 wickets in just 2 days. Only the second time we've had a match completed in 2 days, a test match in 2 days in Australia. So some saying it's favoured too heavily towards the bowlers in this test. Probably right, but I think I'd rather see erring slightly towards the bowlers, to be honest, than too far the other way. I think it's great when bowlers are involved in the game, and Travis's 92 in the first innings was the difference, so well done to Trav, even though he made a duck in the second innings. The Aussies winning that first test against South Africa by 6 wickets at the Gabba. Now attention moves on to the MCG. The other big winners, the strikers. What about this, Lucy? I don't know if you caught up with it, but speaking of bowlers dominating, they bowled out the Sydney Thunder for 15. Unbelievable. This is how it culminated. All out for 15, the Sydney Thunder in their T20 match over the weekend.
Edged! Yes! Yes! All out 15! All out 15! It is a historic moment that will go around the world.
That audio there, thanks to Fox. I saw the score, I didn't watch it, and I actually had to Google to see if that was a legitimate thing.
It was like that. I had a lot of friends doing the same thing, Lucy. I don't think anyone can believe what they saw, and I don't think we'll ever see it again. All out for 15, chasing 140. The bowling was great, couple of loose shots, but the catching was sensational. Matt Short took one of the catches of the summer, if not the catch of the summer at slip. They caught everything, they bowled well, and Henry Thornton was outstanding along with Wes Agar. I mean, Rashid Khan and Peter Siddle, arguably their two best bowlers, didn't even bowl. It was all done in 6 overs. It was just ridiculous. So well done to the strikers. They were big winners, as were the 36ers. They belted the Brisbane Bullets. So that was great. And Emma McKeon in the swimming, she perhaps is now cementing her legacy as one of our greatest ever swimmers, just dominating at the World Short Course Championships at the moment. So fantastic to see that. The losers, I don't think you have to go very far to find out that the A-League, I think, was the big loser. And I think, world game, football fans in general, and the Melbourne victory, I mean, what has transpired. We'll talk more about it later this morning and looking forward to doing that. But I think everyone lost, and the game set itself back another 20, 30 years with what happened on Saturday night in Melbourne. It was just atrocious.
Amazing that it all happened on the same weekend as the World Cup final. We say it is the world game, and it's disappointing that something like this happened in Australia.
Yep, absolutely. 1.5 billion people watching that final this morning around the world. It truly is the world game. It is so universally loved, and yet what happened on Saturday night overshadows so much of it. It's just so terribly disappointing. It really was bad.
6:28, we'll be back after the 6:30 news, chatting Sharks.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
A fresh new phone might be a great way to start the new year. And right now, Harvey Norman has great Christmas deals on phones. Meet Google Pixel 6a, the more affordable Google phone that adapts to you. It features a long-lasting battery, 6.1-inch display and the Pixel camera, which makes it easy to capture rich and vibrant photos day or night. The Pixel 6a is yours for $548, save $100. The Google Pixel 7 Pro is Google's best of everything phone. It's fast and secure with an immersive display and amazing battery life that can last up to 72 hours with extreme battery saver. Plus you get an extra layer of hardware security. The Pixel 7 Pro is yours for $1,048, saving $200.
Check out this great offer at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers. Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. It's back. The Bay Sheffield Carnival, SA's most prestigious foot race, returns to Collie Reserve Glenelg, December 27th and 28th. Visit baysheffield.org.au.
Hi SA, it's Harry Conway from the Adelaide Strikers here. We can't wait to get back onto Adelaide Oval on Tuesday, December 20 for our match against the Sydney Thunder. Get your tickets to see the best bowler in T20, Rashid Khan, and one of the game's biggest hitters, Chris Lynn, in his first season for the Strikers. A night at Adelaide Oval watching the Strikers is the perfect pre-Christmas catch-up. Get your tickets today at adelaidestrikers.com.au and I'll see you there.
G'day, Graham Ross here. Sudden Impact for Lawns has always been my go-to. Now it's even better together with Populate. Sudden Impact for Lawns plus Populate is still an organic-based premium granular fertiliser, but now with the added benefits of billions of living beneficial microbes. Ideal for all types of lawns, trees, even hedges, and be amazed at the results. Sudden Impact for Lawns plus Populate. Available in all good garden centres, nurseries and retailers.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 34 with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
The Samtaz South Aussie Seafood Christmas sale is on now, with large cooked king prawns just $27.99 a kilo.
Argentina has won the FIFA World Cup, defeating France in a penalty shootout after a 3-3 draw. More from Mike Pearsall.
It was the Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe show. The two PSG teammates constantly upstaging each other, with more than 1 billion people watching worldwide. Messi scored twice for Argentina and had a hand in another, while Mbappe became just the second player in history to score a hat-trick in the tournament decider, twice helping France come from behind to send it to a shootout. The tournament ultimately decided by Gonzalo Montiel, scoring the winning penalty past French keeper Hugo Lloris.
Still on soccer, and Melbourne Victory may be forced to play its remaining matches behind closed doors after Victory fans were involved in a violent pitch invasion at Amy Park on Saturday night. The club may also be stripped of competition points and fined. The incident saw around 150 spectators rush onto the field. 2 players, a referee and a camera operator were assaulted. Victoria Police have set up a task force to investigate. Already 2 people have handed themselves in. There's a growing push to nationalise gun laws after the murders of 2 Queensland police constables. It's been more than 26 years since the last major national reforms. The Gun Safety Alliance's Stephen Bendel says technology is making it easier for people to get a hold of firearms.
While it's just as important to make sure that we comply with the National Firearms Agreement, we've always also got to be careful about changes in technology and other things, so that every state and territory make sure that firearms are safe in the community.
A young boy has been flown to hospital following a dingo attack on Fraser Island. Paramedics say the boy was bitten in 5 places on his body at Ocean Lake Campground just after 4 yesterday afternoon. He was flown to Sunshine Coast University Hospital in a stable condition. Around 85% of Australians have finished their festive shopping with days left until Christmas. Research by the Australian Retailers Association has found we did our shopping much earlier this year and are spending more. Chief Executive Paul Zara says Australians are forecast to spend $66 billion this year, up more than 6%.
That's a record of spending in the country. Now, some of that is price inflation, but mainly driven because people were much more organised. They wanted to avoid supply chain disruptions. They're also concerned about price increases, which is fueling more purchasing. And on top of that, they want to get in early and get a good deal.
The nervous wait is nearly over for our Year 12 students. Their SACE results will be published online from 8:30 this morning. Overseas, and the Mayor of the Texas border city of El Paso has declared a state of emergency over the ongoing migrant crisis in the city. More from US correspondent Alison Petrovsky.
Migrant shelters are at capacity and thousands are sleeping on the streets of El Paso in near-freezing conditions. Officials believe that the number of people seeking asylum in the Texas town will climb from 2,500 daily to 6,000 when Title 42 expires on Thursday. The Trump-era restriction was put in place to stop the spread of COVID, but has also been used to turn away more than 2 million migrants at the US-Mexico border since March 2020. The emergency declaration will give El Paso more resources to deal with the influx, including more law enforcement officials and transportation options to bus migrants to larger cities.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
And with more on the World Cup, here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Kendall. As heard before, Argentina has defeated France in a penalty shootout after an epic 3-3 draw. Lionel Messi has made history as the first player to win the Golden Ball Award twice as player of the tournament. SBS commentator Martin Tyler has paid tribute to Messi and his countrymen who celebrated the World Cup trophy.
One absolutely majestic footballer who deserves to be centre stage here after all the work he's put in, all the pleasure he's given to millions, billions.
To cricket, and South African captain Dean Elgar has taken aim at the Gabba pitch after the first test against Australia was wrapped up within 2 days. Elgar says he thought the pitch was unsafe during the match.
I did ask the umpires when KG got head out down leg. I mean, I said, like, how long does it go on for until it potentially is unsafe? I know the game was dead and buried. It was never to try and change or put a halt to the game, no doubt. But I don't know, that's obviously where the umpire's discretion comes into play.
At the Short Course Swimming World Championships, Australia has set a new world record in a dead heat with the USA. Cole Chalmers swimming a blistering final leg in the 4x100 metre medley relay.
Chalmers is fighting hard. It's going to be a great finish.
Yes.
Chalmers! Yes! Oh, it's a dead heat.
Yeah, sensational stuff there. And finally, the Adelaide 36ers will face the Jack Jumpers tonight at the Entertainment Centre. And that's the 5AA Sport.
To the weather, mostly sunny and 34. A shower or two tomorrow, 31. Showers and a possible storm Wednesday, 27. And cloudy for Thursday, 23. Right now it's 23. More news as it happens on 5AA.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
6:36 on this Monday morning. Lucy and Tom in the chairs. Couple of text messages before we get to Professor Charlie Hooverneers talking Sharks in a moment. This one from Josh. Morning, Lucy and Tom. My 8-year-old son is soccer mad and wanted to watch the final this morning, so I woke him up at 1:30. An 8-year-old woken up at 1:30. That won't be pretty later on, Josh. But they sat together until half-time, then went back to bed because... Josh thought it was all over with Argentina 2-0 up. Missed all the action.
No.
Oh, Josh. But kudos to you for getting up in the literal middle of the night. Wally the Walnut says longer snapper ban won't make fishos happy, especially Rowie. There is snapper around. Even WA may introduce a ban.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about that after 7 o'clock too, Lucy, about that snapper ban and what it means.
And we mentioned festive cyber scams at the moment. Sue in Christie's Beach says, good morning, guys. Yesterday my partner got a new Hey Mum scam attempt. I gave their voicemail a mouthful. Good on you, Sue. I've never been one to give a scammer a mouthful. I'm a bit scared of it, but I'd always love to do it.
Yeah, and I like the fact that she has done it. I usually just hang up and try and move on, but giving a bit of a piece of your mind, maybe that will ward them off and make sure they don't get back to you again. And this one quickly from Sam as well. G'day, Tom and Lucy. Australia smashing the cricket. Congratulations, Argentina. And also, can you guys please say happy birthday to Cheryl Ann and Paralaui's Pam. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day.
Birthday's close to Christmas.
Always tricky.
Tricky, but, you've got to have a birthday
Someone's
at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's got to do it. We are chatting now about the hot weather. The Christmas forecast has come out, but over the weekend, of course, there were 4 different shark sightings off our metro beaches, and we welcome Professor Charlie Hooverneers from Flinders Uni, who also leads the research team of the Southern Shark Ecology Group. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I reckon we do this chat about once a year, but for some reason we always manage to time it where there have been shark sightings the day before. So I think we're keeping you in a job here, Charlie.
Yeah, I do seem to be talking about the shark sightings every year, especially around summertime.
Yeah, so my first question is, it has been a bit of a cooler start to summer because of La Nina. Has this affected shark appearances? Are they used to being in warmer waters?
It really depends on which species you're referring to. There are more than 500 different species of sharks, and you'll find that some like colder water. You even have the Greenland sharks, for example, which obviously lives in the Arctic. But other species like warmer temperatures, and for example, all the reef sharks will mostly be found around coral reefs.
4 shark sightings in one weekend does seem like an unusually high number. Is that the case, or is that quite normal for this type of time of year, Professor?
To be honest, it actually is quite normal. As soon as you're going to get, I guess, this time of the year, in November, December, and if you have good conditions as well, that allows, for example, these spotter planes to see more sharks. And every summer, you will get days with more than 4 shark sightings. It is not completely unusual. But yeah, this time of the year, November, December, is when you're most likely to be seeing them from the spotter planes, for example. So my guess is that you're going to be seeing more sharks over the next couple of days, especially with the good weather coming up.
Now, the one they saw between Seacliff and Brighton was a bronze whaler, about 2.5 metres in length. It was about 200 metres off the coast. The Westpac Lifesaver Rescue helicopter chased it out to sea. Charlie, in your work, do you research mostly bronze whalers, or do you do more great white stuff?
I've done a bit of everything, anything from Port Jackson sharks all the way to white sharks or even whale sharks. We did do a bit of work on bronze whalers along the Metropolitan coast, and we're currently also tagging some white sharks at the Neptune Islands that could be detected by receivers that we have along the Metropolitan.
And Professor, I'm sure everyone, when they see a shark, the first thing they've got to do is try and get out of the water. But in the case that they're in there while the shark is there, are sharks naturally aggressive, or what is the general temperament for the species of sharks that you see at this time of year if they do come to our shores?
I certainly wouldn't say aggressive. Sharks, what they will do naturally is just swimming around. There will obviously be a situation where it is potentially dangerous, and some species like white sharks can bite humans. But it's not in terms of aggression. It's just, I guess, in terms of interaction and curiosity sometimes. And unfortunately, sometimes that curiosity means an injury and a bite for humans. But typically, bronze whalers are nothing really to worry about. I mean, if you spear fishing, maybe, because there's a bit more of an attractant for sharks, but bronze whalers are mostly harmless, and it's mostly the white sharks that sometimes can bite humans.
Something that's piqued my interest here, the Advertiser wrote an article about all the shark sightings. In their final sentence, they've said, in SA, swimmers, including snorkelers, must not move closer than 30 metres to a marine mammal. Do we have some official ruling around that? I know that would be out of safety, but that seems like a very specific distance. Is there laws of people getting close to sharks?
No, there aren't any laws for sharks. Obviously, that article was referring to marine mammal. But for sharks, there's currently no laws at all. You can get close to sharks if you want. I mean, I do all the time. Yeah. And I guess it wouldn't be a problem at all for most shark species. I said the white sharks might be the only one that, in a state that you'd be a bit more careful of. The only law that there is that you cannot harass or interact with a protected species, and white sharks are protected.
Are bronze whalers protected?
No, they're not. There's actually a small targeted fishery for bronze whalers in summertime. So, people, that's a commercial fishery, and there are recreational fisheries that also target bronze whalers in summer just for tag and release. So, bronze whalers are not protected. The only shark species protected in South Australian waters are the white sharks.
And in an instance of someone spotting a shark, Professor, who should they contact? What should they do?
If it is a patrol beach, I probably recommend them to contact the local surf life savings club, just so that they're aware of it and they can make a call in terms of whether it's needed to evacuate the beach. Most likely and most often it might be a small hammerhead or a small bronze whaler, and there's no need for alarm and no need to evacuate the beach. But if they can identify it as a potentially dangerous species like white sharks that are a certain size and maybe getting a bit closer, then they might make the call on evacuating the beach.
Thank you so much, Charlie. Professor Charlie Houvenier is there from Flinders Uni. Thank you for your expertise. Have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
I'm keen to head to the beach today. When in this job, we're blessed we can finish slightly earlier than a normal person. Yes, we start a lot earlier, but today is a prime beach day, and I was really psyched to go down to Somerton, but that's a little bit close to Brighton Beach for my liking, I think. The 2 shark sightings at Brighton on the weekend may have put me off slightly.
I've got to say, it's never something I've really thought about when I'm in the water, but you do have to be conscious, don't you? I mean, 4 over one weekend is quite high. He said it's not unusually high, and like he said, they're not naturally aggressive, but you do have to have your wits about you, like anything, particularly in the water. But usually I'm just worrying about, trying to stay afloat and have fun and splash around. And don't go that deep out that I ever feel like I'm in too much trouble. But you have to be aware. Yeah, I love ocean swimming, but I will never go further than where I can't touch. You can't stand up. And purely, even if it's the clearest water, because
well, a bronze whaler could emerge pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And hopefully...
And a fair bit faster. With all due respect to your swimming skills.
Oh, yeah, no, a bronze whaler would easily overtake me. If you have seen sharks recently, we'd love to hear your stories, 8223 000. You can give us a call all morning or jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live streams and leave your comments there. We'll be back after the break with the all-important Christmas Day forecast. But first, let's check traffic. Join ABA Plumbing's Christmas fundraiser with Santa, Bouncy Castle and Family Fun this Friday, 10 till 4 at Stepney.
Thanks, Lucy, and good morning. Roads working really well for the driving today. No great hassles and pretty quiet too. Simply got a lane closed to look out for it at Eastwood, Glen Osmond Road near Greenhill Road. Works are slowing things up at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue, and you'll find changed traffic conditions at Erborough this morning. They've widened the intersection of Fordham Road at Cross Road. Speeds at 40. Cameras today, Frederick Road, Grange and Clark Terrace at Seaton. Why not slay Christmas this year with free delivery on eligible orders over $39 at amazon.com.au. Get your Christmas on with Amazon. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
G'day, it's Merv Hughes here. After years of snoring like a train, the missus sent me for a CPAP Direct sleep test. I'm sleeping quiet and waking up refreshed.
Don't let snoring ruin your holiday. CPAP Direct is the home of travel CPAP machines, batteries and DC converters at the very best prices. Find your nearest store at cpap.com.au.
Find your local store at cpap.com.au.
When did I start chatting with Mum and Dad about getting a little help around the house?
Well, we're no spring chickens. We knew the housework was getting a bit much.
So we had a chat. Then we talked to FIVEAA, who guided us on home care packages and how to access them.
And now life feels a little easier, with a bit more time for coffee and cake.
Care to talk retirement living care options? Call FIVEAA on 13 28 36 or search FIVEAA Care to Talk.
This Christmas, give the gift of pristine coastlines, breathtaking views, crystal clear water, Australian wildlife up close, tours and special experiences from dining under an enchanted fig tree to quad biking or even swimming with dolphins. Give a SeaLink gift voucher and enjoy all that Kangaroo Island has to offer.
Yeah, great call, Lucy. Without doubt, Kangaroo Island ticks all the boxes as the perfect Chrissy gift for friends, family or even yourself.
You're a KI fan, aren't you, Rennie?
Love it. Went there only for the first time, I'm embarrassed to say, about 12 months ago. Can't wait to go back.
SeaLink gift vouchers start from just $20 and can be redeemed against any product offered by SeaLink in SA. You can put it towards ferry travel, tours, holiday packages and accommodation. You can even use a SeaLink gift voucher for sightseeing here in Adelaide, like food and wine tours to McLaren Vale and the Barossa, or even a cruise on the Murray Princess. It is one of the most versatile gift vouchers you can buy.
So, for more, visit sealink.com.au and buy your gift voucher online. That's sealink.com.au.
Apply for a mobile card for your business today. Visit mobilecard.com.au to get discounts on mobile quality fuels, zero account fees and other exclusive benefits. Mobile Card, your business sorted.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
6:48 on this wonderful December sunny summer morning. Heading for a top of 34 degrees today. Jenny Horvat is the senior forecaster on duty at the Bureau. Morning, Jenny.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Tom.
Now, before we get to the exciting Christmas Day forecast, what are we in for in the lead up to Christmas?
Yeah, look, it's a bit of a mixed bag as we head into Christmas. So today we are looking at a dry day, a bit of a sunny start. We could see a little bit of high cloud drift across from the northwest, but pretty sunny to start with. It was pretty warm overnight. Minimum temperature actually happened last night at about 10 to 10, 21.6 degrees. We are currently sitting at 23.8 degrees at our West Terrace Nidapura observation site. As you mentioned, we are aiming for 34 degrees in the city, 34 for Elizabeth as well. 33 for Glenelg and Noarlunga, 32 for Mount Barker. We are looking at warm conditions starting off again on Tuesday, minimum temperature of 22 degrees, aiming for a maximum of 31 degrees. But we'll start to see that cloud coming across from the northwest, so we could see some showers developing during the day, and we couldn't rule out a thunderstorm on Tuesday as well. But we've got this change coming through later on Wednesday, so showers continuing, probably looking like our wettest day on Wednesday through there, and also the chance to see a thunderstorm come through. So temperatures only for a maximum of 27 degrees on the Wednesday through there. Once that system moves through, we'll settle into more of a cooler south to southwesterly airstream, so temperatures back down to around 23 degrees on Thursday. Not too much shower activity left, but we couldn't rule anything out there on the Thursday. Starting to dry up as we head towards the end of the week, looking at still milder temperatures, around 24 degrees for Friday and Saturday, but as we head to Christmas Day, it looks like the sun will return, and we're going to be aiming for a top temperature of around 30 degrees there in the city, guys.
Yeah, it looks absolutely outstanding, Jen, doesn't it? Magnificent weather for Christmas Day and quite warm too.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of a change of what we've seen, so I think, a lot of people will not be unhappy with that forecast there, guys.
Jenny, just for Wednesday, before we let you go, I see there's 0 to 15 mils possible of showers. How likely are we to hit the 15?
Yeah, look, it's going to be highly variable with the thunderstorms coming through, so it's going to be a bit hit and miss on the Wednesday. But, if you were to see a thunderstorm, you've got a good chance to see that 15 millimetres.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jenny, for all that info. As long as it finds up before Christmas Day, I'm fine with that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just probably the next 7 days is a bit of a snapshot of what we've seen for the end of spring and start of summer. Some hot days in there, some mild days, and also some pretty crazy weather with that potential of 15 mils coming as well. So it's all over the shop. But Christmas Day looks absolutely gorgeous. 30 degrees. Maybe the cold lunch might be an option, Lucy. It looks absolutely beautiful.
Followed by the slip and slide, that is for sure. Let's head across to COP. Senior Constable Jen Cullinan's on duty. Now, Jen, 5 have been arrested for a stolen car.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, Lucy and Tom. This morning at 3:30, an off-duty police officer spotted a Mitsubishi SUV travelling on South Road at Hilton. Now, checks on the vehicle revealed that it had been stolen from Christie's Beach over the weekend. The officer followed the car until patrols were able to take over, and they attempted to stop the car on South Road. However, the driver refused to stop. And it was pursued down South Road, where it was successfully spiked at the intersection of Celtic Avenue at Clovelly Park. And the car eventually came to a stop on Seacombe Road, Darlington, where 7 people ran from the vehicle in multiple directions. Now, patrols quickly set up cordons in the area, and they called in dog operations, and PD police dog Zeus also found 2 of the group hiding in an arrestor bed on the expressway, and 3 of the other youths were found in the back streets of Sturt. So we've got a 17-year-old boy and a 23-year-old woman who have been charged with illegal use. They're going to court today, and 3 boys aged 17, 15 and 13 have also been charged with illegal use, and they're going to Christie's Beach in February. So we don't yet know who the driver of the vehicle was, and we continue to search for the outstanding 2 youths. We just ask if anybody's got any information, call Crime Stoppers on 1-800 333 000.
Yeah, great advice, Jen. Also, another 3 arrested for breaking into some cars.
Yeah, and this was yesterday at 7:30. Eastern patrols were called to a car park on North Terrace after a member of the public observed 3 people breaking into cars. They quickly attended and searched the car park from the ground floor up with the assistance of this time police dog Chaos, who was able to find 3 of the youths on the 3rd floor. And they were found in possession of a screwdriver and some items stolen from the vehicle. So a 19-year-old man has been charged with possession of prohibited weapon, and 2 boys aged 17 and 12 have also been charged with interference of a motor vehicle and theft, and they're going to go to court in February.
12-year-old Jen, I said it last week, they're getting younger. I spoke too soon.
Yeah, you did. 12 and 13 out committing crimes. Don't know what to say, Lucy, do you?
Yeah, I have no words, but I am pleased that our police dogs are getting in there and solving our crimes for us.
Yeah.
Feel free to bring in the police dogs anytime you like, Jen. We would love to meet them and congratulate them on their hard work.
I'll arrange that for you, Lucy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, Jen. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Love hearing about the police dogs. And
yeah, they do great work, don't they? But you're right, it is concerning when you hear incidents like that with kids as young as 13, 12 years of age. It's just Yeah, raises a lot of questions, doesn't it?
We head across now to the United States. Ashley Mullaney is on deck there for 7 News. Now, Ashley, you're covering the disturbing protests that are taking place in Peru near Machu Picchu. What's the go?
Well, good morning, guys. This is very much a deepening political crisis following the ousting of Peru's president, Pedro Castillo. But what's happened in light of that is his supporters have gone out on the streets, major clashes with police, these deadly protests that have broken out in several cities across Peru. The death toll over 20 now. We saw 8 protesters that were killed when police fired back with live ammunition. So pretty dramatic, troubling scenes, but it's also crippled the transportation network in Peru. So we've seen major railway lines shut down, airports shut down, and that's proven to be pretty problematic for a lot of travellers who have gone to visit Machu Picchu. Tourists that have now become stranded in the town at the base of Machu Picchu. Hellish nightmare, really, for those who have been stuck there, either waiting to be airlifted out on army helicopters, which is what the mayor has promised, or hiking about 30 kilometres. So I'm sure these tourists, even though they probably went there to go hiking, they've probably got more than they bargained for. So a lot of Aussies that have been caught up over there too. We know from DFAT that they've had over 170 Australians contact the embassy in Lima looking for help. And of course, understandably, the Australian government is urging Australians now to reconsider their travel plans just based on this civil unrest that we're seeing play out. And really, we don't know when it's going to end or how it's going to end. So there's, the advice is very much to reconsider going there if you need to. But pretty dramatic. There's Australians, Americans, we're hearing horror stories of people who are stuck there. And we're not far out from Christmas now, so there's probably a lot of people that are thinking how they're going to get home. It sort of sounds like, remember that reality TV show, Banged Up Abroad? It just sounds like a nightmarish experience for these people. So hopefully they make it out safely. Thankfully, no reports of Australians that have been injured at this point.
That's good to hear, Ashley. But like you said, some 100-odd tourists from Australia, and is the hope that they all will be able to get out of there safely, and I suppose before Christmas, or it's still a bit too early to tell?
Yeah, the hope is that they will be able to. The mayor is promising that he'll bring in army helicopters to try and get people out. I feel like Aussies are quite resourceful. I think we're calm in a crisis abroad, and I think if you're going to Machu Picchu, you're probably fairly well travelled, and hopefully they work out a plan to make their way out of this. And if nothing else, it'll be a good story to tell at the pub one day, how they escaped Machu Picchu. So best of luck, and hopefully everyone is doing okay, but a stressful situation, and probably stressful more so for mums and dads who maybe have, they've got kids that have gone off on some adventure and that was stressful enough, and now they're seeing news reports of these protests. So I can imagine there'd be a pretty anxious time. But definitely make contact with DFAT if there's any concerns, and they're doing all they can to offer consular assistance at the moment.
Excellent news there. Thank you, Ashley, keeping abreast of the Peru protests there at Machu Picchu. I have never been to South America.
No, me either.
Ashley, thankfully, wasn't reporting from Machu Picchu. She was back in the safety of America there at the 7 News Bureau in the US. A few bits about Machu Picchu. It was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site back in 1983. In 2007, it was voted one of the new 7 wonders of the world in a worldwide internet poll 2007. Of course, it was founded around the year 1450, the sort of ruins. It was then abandoned in 1572. And it is, of course, the Inca civilization. I'm not a big Inca specialist, but if anyone is, I would really love to hear from you this morning.
As well, and in a sporting context, Lucy, that is the side that Australia beat to qualify for the World Cup in penalties, remember?
Of course.
When we were in here. So, they have a rich football history as well, and there's been a fair bit happening in South America this morning, which we've discussed already with Argentina taking out the World Cup. And, Lucy, we've got plenty more coming up after 7 o'clock this morning, including the snapper ban being extended. So we're going to speak to an angler journalist from the SA Angler magazine, Shane Mensforth. We'll also talk to Tony O'Connell from O'Connell Meats, the big Christmas rush, and we'll also talk to someone from the SACE board about the Year 12 results, which
right.
are coming out this morning. So a big hour coming up.
We'll be back after the 7 o'clock news.
Come on in. We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
5AA's Business Lounge with Leith Forrest.
I'm here with Kathy Nagle, Chief Executive Officer of Western Hospital. Welcome, Kathy.
Thanks for having me, Lee.
So chronic diseases can sometimes lead to heart and vascular conditions. Why is early intervention so important?
More young people than you'd think are dying unexpectedly or missing the signs of heart disease. Not everyone realises ignoring warning signs, putting off your checkups and leaving these things untreated could actually cost your life.
Absolutely. You've got to listen to your body. What kind of interventions are available at Western?
Well, the interventions range from cardiovascular health checks to diagnostic interventions like angiogram and stenting.
And should people require surgery, Western can help?
Definitely. At Western Hospital, we endeavour to make patients' lives easier through our multidisciplinary approach to care. Our cardiovascular clinical services are really well supported by an intensive care unit with specialist physicians and experienced nurses.
Thank you, Kathy. To learn more about Western Hospital, your hospital that cares, visit westernhospital.com.au or give them a call, 8159 1200.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 34 with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
The Samtas South Aussie Seafood Christmas sale is on now, with crayfish just $77.80 a kilo.
Lionel Messi has led Argentina to its first FIFA World Cup title since 1986, taking France's title after a penalty shootout. More from Mike Pearsall.
Twice the French threatened to break Argentinian hearts, first coming from 2 goals down to force the game to extra time at 2-2 thanks to Kylian Mbappe. The star forward then completed his hat-trick to cancel out Messi's second goal in extra time, sending the title to penalties after a 3-3 draw. But there was no coming back once goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez saved Kingsley Coman's attempt, with Argentina going on to win the shootout 4-2 as heard on SBS.
Argentina are on top of the world.
Messi has been awarded the Golden Ball Award as player of the tournament, becoming the first player to receive the award twice.
Victoria Police is scouring video and social media photos to identify people who stormed the pitch during Saturday night's A-League match at Melbourne's Amy Park. 2 people have handed themselves into police. Acting Superintendent Jason Goddard says everyone who made their way onto the field in the violent melee could be facing heavy fines.
If we can identify them, you can be rest assured that we will be investigating that and we will be looking to prosecute where we can.
More money's being pumped into the state's criminal justice system to deal with the number of Operation Ironside cases. Over $13 million has been set aside over the next 4 years after $8.8 million was allocated in the state budget. In addition, just over $300,000 has been provided to Forensic Science SA to manage its anticipated increased workload. More than 100 people are facing charges and 13 Ironside-related sentences have already been handed down. There's fresh warnings Australia will remain vulnerable to power price shocks unless we quickly transition to renewables. More from Ashley Wick.
Moving to wind and solar is how Australia will drive down the soaring cost of power in the long term. That's according to the boss of Australia's energy market operator, Daniel Westerman, saying even after factoring in the cost of upgrading the grid, wind and solar will still be the cheapest forms of new power generation. The federal government is already looking to a future of renewables, but its measures for short-term relief are causing controversy. Gas giants unhappy over a price cap, while the opposition says increasing supply now is the answer.
It's a big day for Year 12 students with SACE results out today. A record high 98.7% of Year 12s finished their SACE this year. The results will be available online from 8:30. Well, the peak body for universities is urging the government to streamline Australia's migration system to entice more international students to stay in the country. Universities Australia wants temporary graduate visas to be granted to all international students, meaning they won't have to wait up to 10 months to be allowed to work after completing their studies. Chief Executive Katrina Jackson says the slow and confusing system is putting potential students off coming to Australia.
We could do so much better. Other countries are holding on to those students and pressing them into really important jobs at a much higher rate than we are.
It's a mixed bag as far as the weather's concerned this week. We can expect a warm day today and then showers for the next few days. But Jenny Horvath from the Bureau says the Christmas Day forecast looks good.
Starting to dry up as we head towards the end of the week, looking at still milder temperatures, around 24 degrees for Friday and Saturday. But as we head to Christmas Day, it looks like the sun will return and we're going to be aiming for a top temperature of around 30 degrees there in the city.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
And it's a big day in sport. Here's Jace Kemp.
Yeah, it's a massive day, Kendall. As heard earlier, Argentina has claimed football's biggest prize in a penalty shootout with France. The World Cup victory cementing Lionel Messi as the greatest player of all time.
In a wonderful World Cup, it is about the team, it is about the organisers. But we have to say it's about one absolutely majestic footballer who deserves to be centre stage here.
That audio thanks to SBS. To cricket, and South African captain Dean Elgar believes the Gabba pitch was unsafe after the first test against Australia wrapped up within 2 days. The Aussies needed just 34 runs to secure victory. Steve Smith believes it was one of the toughest wickets he's ever batted on.
You try and get yourself in line as much as possible, but when things are doing unexpected things off the wicket, it's certainly very challenging, particularly when the ball's coming down at 140 k's plus.
At the Short Course World Championships, Kyle Chalmers has helped Australia secure gold in a dead heat with America. Chalmers praised his Aussie teammates who set a new world record in the 4x100 metre medley relay in unison with the USA.
These guys swam out of their skins. You know, I'm the one that gets to sit on the lane rope at the end of the race, but they were the three better swimmers tonight, and I just got the fun job of bringing it home.
Well, finally, the Adelaide 36ers will have a shoot-around this morning before its game with the Jack Jumpers later tonight. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Refresh your bathroom with a quick and affordable bathroom makeover. Visit bathroomwerx.com.
At Torrensville, you'll find a smash this morning. Carlton Parade at East Terrace. Urbray, we've got changed traffic conditions there. They've widened the intersection of Fullerton Road to Crossroads. Speeds are still down to 40. Got a lane closed at Glyn, Paynham Road near Montague Road. And we've got cameras this morning, Kingswood at Paralawi and Port River Expressway at Wingfield. Trades and builders, power your business with Bunnings Trade Power Pass. Get the free app to self-transact in store and get in and out faster. Search Bunnings Trade Power Pass. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, mostly sunny and 34, a shower or two tomorrow, 31, showers and a possible storm on Wednesday, 27, and then cloudy for Thursday, 23. Right now, 24. More news as it happens on 5AA.
G'day, Graham Ross here. Sudden Impact for Lawns has always been my go-to. Now it's even better together with Populate. Sudden Impact for Lawns plus Populate is still an organic-based premium granular fertiliser, but now with the added benefits of billions of living beneficial microbes. Ideal for all types of lawns, trees, even hedges, and be amazed at the results. Sudden Impact for Lawns plus Populate. Available in all good garden centres, nurseries and retailers.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
7:08 on this Monday morning. Currently about 23 degrees outside. Only got down to 21 overnight if you were tossing and turning because you were a bit too hot. That is understandable. We're in for a top of 34 degrees and sunny today. Coming up shortly, we are chatting about the snapper ban being extended here in SA another 3 years. And after 7:30, we're chatting all things local soccer today. There is a bit of news out of the World Cup, being Argentina are the winners. Bit of sad news over the weekend after the Melbourne Victory fans stormed Amy Park, but we're chatting instead a bit closer to home after 7:30 about a community soccer event. But Dean in Flinders Park has called in. Morning, Dean.
Morning, Lucy, Tom. Merry Christmas before I say something.
Oh, thank you, Dean, and to you.
Lucy, I heard you promote the volcano the other day, and I watched it on the weekend. I cannot describe it. I haven't found a word for it yet.
I'm going to hope that's a positive. You loved it so much, but still not sure how to describe it.
Exactly. The photography and the people that had video and their phones working at the time of the impact, it really leaves you speechless.
Yeah, it's confronting, isn't it? You know, it's a real event, and to see it there on screen in front of you in your lounge room sometimes is a bit much.
Especially when the people that I interviewed turn around and tell you how their bodies were steamed, that when they were touched, their skin fell off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tingling.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the positive review, Dean. This is good. Our movie review segments are taking off. We welcome them from fans. That was, of course, Volcano on the streaming services about the New Zealand volcanic tragedy a few years ago, where about 20 or so Aussies lost their lives. Heaps of Aussies were over there, and now it's come out on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, well, this is good, Lucy. You're starting to become a bit of a connoisseur now of movies and documentaries, and
Yes.
you've got a bit of catching up to do.
I do. I'm on holidays after this week, so in my 2 weeks off, maybe I'll have some more time to catch up on a few things.
Good, I like it, yeah.
Looking forward to it. So, Rennie, if you've got any film recommendations...
I've got many.
Love to hear
I've
them.
got a lot. We were just discussing a few of them, weren't we, during the news, so we'll have to perhaps write a few more down, but... I'm sure you've got some catching up to do, but you've also got to make sure you catch up with all your family and friends, of course. But maybe in your downtime you can
That's
do
right.
that.
They can join me on this movie watching quest.
Extravaganza. I wish I could watch a lot of the movies I've seen, a lot of my favourite movies for the first time. I often do think that would be nice to see it for the first time again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hey, big scenes out of Argentina at the moment. Currently 5:40 p.m. in Buenos Aires. They were, of course, the winners. But here in Australia, here are some Argentinian fans who watched the final early this morning in Sydney. So as we said, there's a lot of hours left in Buenos Aires for people to celebrate, 5:40 p.m, and we're hoping, it's Sunday afternoon there, surely they'll give Monday a public holiday.
I would think so. I mean, this is huge for them. First time since 1986. That was the legendary Diego Maradona that led them to that tournament victory. They have come close before. They made a final again recently, but Lionel Messi able to take it out for the first time in his fifth attempt. We've spoken about, what it means to the nation and to everyone involved. I think those scenes, that partying, is going to continue in Argentina and around for many, many weeks to come. That is just enormous what they've been able to achieve over there in Qatar this morning. And for the past few weeks, given that they lost their first match against Saudi Arabia, there is going to be much celebrating over the next few weeks for sure.
Call us if you were up this morning at 1:30, 8223 0000 to watch the final, or if you're like Josh, who got up with his 8-year-old son at 1:30 then went to bed at half-time.
Oh, I can't believe that. They made all the effort. And look, difficult for an 8-year-old to then stay up. They'd be exhausted. But what a great performance to be able to get up, but then to go to bed at half-time. It all happened. I mean, Argentina did end up winning, but it was, goodness me, they missed the best bit.
We are chatting now, of course, about the snapper fishing industry here in SA. The ban has been extended for another 3.5 years. Here is Claire Scriven, the Primary Industries Minister, over the weekend.
Whilst the decline in snapper stocks had been arrested, there hadn't been a significant recovery. We'll be breeding and releasing close to 1 million snapper fingerlings into the two Gulfs, Gulf St Vincent and the Spencer Gulf, over 2 years.
We welcome to the conversation Shane Mensforth from South Australia's Angler magazine. Morning, Shane.
Good morning, how are you guys?
Yeah, we're well, thank you. So the idea is they're still banning the fishing of snappers for another 3.5 years because the snapper population is struggling, but they're aiming to sort of replenish the stock. Is that right? Introduce a breeding type program?
Yeah, that could only be a good thing. I'm not sure how effective it will be, but putting some back in can only be a positive, I guess.
Snapper here in SA, if you fish it now under the current ban, if you catch snapper off the end of a jetty, it's a $400 fine. But if you're a first-time offender, catching it out in a boat can be around $5,000. How many of those fines have we seen in the past 3 years?
Not too many, I would imagine. In fact, I haven't heard of any. So I think people are, towing the line, and unfortunately, going to have to toe the line for another 3.5 years.
Shane, are you confident that the $8.8 million that the state government is injecting, and the idea to replenish the stocks is something that will happen, or do you think that perhaps at the end of the 3.5 years there could be a situation where the ban is extended even further?
Well, we're pretty confident that 3 years would be enough, but
yeah.
It's an open-ended thing. It's we just don't know. The fishery has been depleted to such an extent, obviously, that the government had to do something. But geez, another 3.5 years is going to hurt a lot of people.
It is, isn't it? I mean, just how significantly will the fishing industry be impacted by this? Do you think?
Oh, look, I know 2-3 of my close mates who are hanging onto their boats in the hope that after 3 years we'll be able to go fishing again. Now I spoke to a couple of them yesterday, and their boats are going on the market. They're not going to sit on a $100,000 boat for another 3.5 years, particularly as it's not guaranteed at that time that we'll be able to fish again.
Shane, what's your, obviously being part of working for SA Angler magazine, you've been in the fishing industry a long time. What's your favourite fish to get out and capture?
I love yellowfin whiting, the inshore whiting. I love mulloway, and obviously I love catching snapper. They're a brilliant thing, and we're just so accessible, and we just had the best snapper fishery in the world here. And now I hate to say it, the Victorians have got it. So it's all pretty distressing. I'd love to be able to catch a snapper again. I really would.
Claire Scrivens, the Minister for Primary Industries, just said they're looking at sort of replenishing in the Spencer Gulf and St Vincent Gulf. Is that's where snapper is most in need of replenishing?
Oh yeah, it's the southern zone, from Victor Harbour down to the Victorian border. The stocks down there are pretty healthy. It's just both our gulfs that have been depleted, and yeah, it's a terrible thing. It's as I said, the Vics have got it all now, and we've got nothing.
And Shane, I guess the reason for the depleted stocks, is it just overfishing previously that has contributed to it?
Oh well, we think so. There could be some environmental factors there as well, but it's overfishing from the commercial sector and from the charter boats and from the wrecks. We've all got to share the blame on this, but overfishing seems to be the problem.
Well, I guess, hopefully moving forward, although it's a fair bit of short-term pain, and already it's been quite a long period, hopefully, I know it's a long way away, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel, and we can get back to those, halcyon days of people enjoying going snapper fishing.
We certainly do. So we had the reputation of having the best snapper fishery in the country.
Yeah.
And it's a damn shame to sit back and see what's happened.
Do you think if the ban does end in another 3 years, we can quickly get back to having that title?
Well, how long is a piece of string? Look, we just don't know. As we thought that 3 years would be enough, but another 3, and then we'll suck it and see from there. I hate having all my Victorian friends gloating now that we've got nothing and they've got it all.
That's right. It's slightly more annoying now that the Vics have that another
one
up on us. Thank you, Shane, for your time this morning. Shane Mansforth from the SA Angler magazine.
Well, this is the thing. Like you said, how long is a piece of string? I mean, who's to say that after 3.5 years we're not going to have another ban or an extension of that? So, we clearly have an issue and it's been identified, which is a good thing. But like you said, we thought that the initial ban was going to be enough for the industry to get back on its feet and for the stocks to be replenished. So work to be done, and I think frustration, as Shane just pointed out, for a lot of fishermen and fisherwomen out there that, want to be able to catch snapper. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do it.
Coming up after the break, we are chatting with Tony O'Connell from O'Connell's Meats down there in the market. There are 6 days until Christmas. Hopefully Tony will give us some good news that you can still get your hams, your turkeys, your chicken, your vegetarian options. Maybe not from Tony, but he will have something there for you, something for everyone. But first, let's check traffic. Join ABA Plumbing's Christmas fundraiser with Santa, a bouncy castle and family fun this Friday, 10 till 4 at Stepney.
At Torrensville, there's a smash on Carlton Parade at East Terrace. Urbray changed traffic conditions due to intersection upgrade works Fullerton Road at Crossroads. Speeds are down at 40. Good lane closed this morning at Glynn, Paynham Road near Montague Street. And we're starting to get busy South Road at Karata Park. Cameras, Martins Road, Salisbury Downs and Port River Expressway at Gilman. It's the season of giving at Endota. Give them the gift of choice with Endota gift cards from just $25. In Spa or online at endota.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
There's hot chili cashews, smoked almonds and delicious spicy peanuts. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm Brett Charlesworth, and they're just 3 of the tantalising products we cook hot and fresh for you in every one of our Charlesworth Nuts stores. There's salted and unsalted nuts, there's spicy, hot chili and smokehouse flavoured, plus our range of designer mixes exclusive to Charlesworth's. Just follow the seductive aroma of freshly cooked nuts to one of our 11 family-owned stores or shop online. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
Car, bus or truck window smashed, cracked, scratched or chipped? Call Complete Windscreens. For over 40 years, this family-owned SA company have given motorists a clear view of the road ahead with their 24-hour windscreen repair and replacement service. No one does it better than Hayden and Lindsay Dean at Complete Windscreens, which is the very reason you should tell your insurer you want Complete Windscreens on the job. You deserve the best, most reliable and cheapest. CompleteWindscreen.com.au.
G'day, it's Merv Hughes here. After years of snoring like a train, the missus sent me for a CPAP Direct sleep test. I'm sleeping quiet and waking up refreshed.
Upgrade to the sleek and extra quiet Fisher & Paykel Sleep Style Auto CPAP machine at CPAP Direct this month and receive the all-new Evora full face mask with 3 size cushions for free. Sail on now.
Find your local store at cpap.com.au.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now isn't the time to go into holiday mode if you're thinking of selling your home. Toop and Toop are perfectly placed to help achieve a premium price for your property. What's your home worth? Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
For 38 years, Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth the trip. And right now, Steinborner Automotive Gawler has stocked up with 40 hand-picked 2018-20 ZB Commodores. Choose from a range of factory edition or special black edition with black roof and black wheels. That's 2018-2020 ZB Commodores from $22,990, all with the balance of factory warranty. View all their used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
21 minutes after 7, I should say. The win went to Argentina overnight in the World Cup. We'll get to more of the soccer shortly. Jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook and YouTube live stream. Craig has left us a comment saying, morning team from Port Hughes, cracking morning here. I can just imagine, Craig. Text us as well, 0448 08 1395. Christmas, of course, is 6 days away, and the busiest butcher in Adelaide, Tony O'Connell, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
We are very well, thank you. No doubt you are under the pump, as you are, well, just about every week. You're so popular, but Christmas is nearly here. What's your top seller at the moment?
Oh, the turkeys. Everyone wants a turkey for Christmas, so they'll be coming in on Thursday morning all nice and fresh for the end of the week, so that's been very popular. It's a South Australian product from down border town. John Watson does a very, very good job into this turkey, so fresh turkeys from there, and pork, probably pork legs and rolled loin pork, something without a bone in it, and plenty of cracking on it, easy to carve. South Australian pork, of course. If you're buying anything in pork, if you buy it on the bone, you know it's Australian pork. So, and anything freshly boned would be Australian pork as well. So if you can help the farmers out by buying pork on the bone and fresh pork, it's a must for South Australia. And beef, this time of the year, it's mainly corned beef and things like that. People make pots of meat, corned hocks, corned tongues, things like that for traditional European cuts. And legs of lamb, anything in a leg of lamb that's been boned and rolled, easy to carve, it's been very popular for this year.
Tony, I'll tell you what, it's 7:20, but I'm already getting very hungry listening to what you've just listed off there. That sounds delicious. We've just got the forecast that's been released for Christmas Day, 30 degrees, so quite warm. Does that change, do you think, what people will perhaps look to get from you over the coming days?
No, that's not too bad. That's probably the limit that you'd want before people say it's going to be too hot to cook.
Yep.
A lot of people got outdoor cooking areas now and outdoor barbecues and things like that, so they will cook outside. There's a tradition some Europeans will have it the night before, cook up and then have cold cuts. So, no, another good tip too with it being a little bit on the warmer side when you're buying your meats, no matter where you buy it from, buy a little bit of extra in size and then you've got some cold cuts for later on, which is the cheapest way of buying cold cuts. So, you know, buying a piece of pork a little bit bigger and you've got some nice cold cuts off it. Same with ham, same with turkey. It's a great way of saving yourself some money, and you're only doing one cook. But no, that weather won't affect us at all, Tom. No, all good.
Tony, is everything pre-ordered from you, or can people still get in there on Thursday and hope they'll get a turkey, or is it best to give you a ring and pre-order?
To get a fresh turkey for the end of the week, it's best to order. We only have 500 turkeys, and that's our limit that we can get off the farm. And they're nearly all gone. I think we've got about 20 or 30, about 4.5 to 5 kilo turkeys left. But yeah, it's best to order, and then you get your exact what you want, as in legs of pork and rolled loin of pork and any lamb cuts and all that. We'll have plenty. We'll carry right through, and we'll be cooking hams right the way through to New Year's Eve as well. So very popular leg of ham on the table for New Year's Eve. We can just sit there and carve it off. But yeah, we'll have enough stock that way. We'll make sausages and shazliks all the way through. So stock won't be a problem. Just to get the right size turkey. Most people would have ordered by now, but if you want a 4.5 kilo turkey, ring up and just place your order, and you'll get exactly what you want.
Now, Tony, the most important question, being a butcher for many, many years of your life, what are you having this Christmas on your table?
Whatever's left.
I hope you get a break as well.
It's not too bad a break this year, but then you look at butcher shops and New Year's Eve barbecues, and people have got presents, as in, barbecues and smokers and all that for Christmas, and they'll want to cook up. So, butchers will be pretty busy right up to New Year's Eve, and then sort of it slackens off a little bit. But no, it's good. It's a full week of shopping too, which makes it easy for everybody. Your market will be booming as from tomorrow. There's semis and semis now at the front of the market. A little hint for all shoppers too, like the market will be busy early, but if you Thursday afternoons, 2 o'clock onwards, it'll be a little bit quieter. We're staying up until 7 o'clock on Thursday evening, which will make it a lot easier. And the afternoons will be a bit more quieter than what the mornings will be. So if you don't want the hustle and bustle, just pop in the afternoon. You can park upstairs and walk straight down, so your car's not in the sun. Easy parking in the market in Adelaide. So yeah, and you get all your gear.
Excellent news. Thank you, Tony. Have a very Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Tony.
I'll see you down the market.
Thank you,
absolutely.
Tony.
Love the market.
O'Connell Meat's just there on the Grote Street side.
Yep.
I always get Grote and Goodger mixed up, but Tony is just on the Grote Street side. So pop in there this week, and there are 20 turkeys left. If you need to get one, they'll be there fresh on Thursday. But if you are wanting one, just give Tony a buzz there, and you can whip in and pick up some ham or Australian pork.
Beautiful. And it's so fresh down there as well, Lucy, and very affordable. So, if you can get down there, do it. Love getting to the market. It's always good fun, and the kids love it as well, which is great.
It is a great place to be, especially at Christmas time. Now, Tommy, some sports news. Where should we start?
Well, I think if people are waking up this morning, the big news, of course, is that Argentina has secured its third World Cup trophy and first since 1986. An incredible final, 3-3 after extra time. It was 2-0 to Argentina, then 2-2 at full time, and then it was 3-2 Argentina thanks to a Lionel Messi goal. Kylian Mbappe scored a hat-trick to get it back to 3-3, and then it was penalties. Argentina prevail. Emiliano Martinez, who I haven't mentioned this morning, the goalkeeper for Argentina, deserves a big shout-out. He was magnificent during the shootout, just a little bit too good. So they win it, and there are absolutely scenes of pandemonium, as you can imagine, in Buenos Aires and all of Argentina following that triumph. But the other big story from yesterday is that the test match concluded, Lucy, inside 2 days. Only the second time in Australia that's ever happened. And this is how Australia brought up its 6-wicket victory over South Africa.
Are you taking it on, Blue? Are you taking it on? No need.
Well, that will win it for Australia. 5 wides. Just the second 2-day test in the history of Test cricket in Australia. It's a victory for Australia to celebrate, but it's one in which it'll be a bit of a tinge of disappointment for the cricket fan for Test cricket that it's been over so quickly, but it is a victory by 6 wickets.
Audio there thanks to Channel 7. Yeah, and this is the issue. So I heard Dean Elgar speak after the game from South Africa saying it was too heavily weighted in favour of the bowlers, and we saw with that ball, it just ballooned over the batsman's head. Very unpredictable bounce, which I think brings into sharp focus just how good Travis Head's 92 was in the first innings. He was awarded the man of the match. He scored 366 runs this Test summer so far at an average over 90, and that's including his duck that he made in the second innings yesterday. He's been phenomenal. But to be honest, Lucy, I think so often Test matches are weighted in favour of the batsman. Now, they got this one slightly wrong, and I think you'd prefer to see a test match go at least 3.5, 4 days, but I don't mind every now and then that the bowlers get a chop out. I think the batsmen get far too much of an advantage, and I would much rather see a low-scoring test match than a 5-day bore that finishes in a draw. So even though I'm sure there'll be questions raised from that Gabba pitch, I'm not that necessarily as opposed to it as a lot of the other players and supporters are. I don't think it's a bad thing for Test cricket to have the bowlers every now and then have a good pitch. And you've got the two best bowling attacks in the world playing against each other.
Good for Aussies to get a win against South Africa.
Brilliant.
After, of course, Sandpapergate a few years ago. There were not fears ahead of the game, but brought back a lot of memories for many, of course.
It's a great point. It's a really good point. And they've started well. It means they maintain their position for the Test Championship, which is important to the Australians. They missed out on that last time. So a great win for them. Now the series moves to Melbourne. So looking forward to seeing how the Aussies do there. The other big story as well, which we'll talk about next hour, Lucy, is the horrific scenes we saw out of Melbourne on the weekend involving that A-League Melbourne Derby. So we'll do that just after 8 o'clock this morning.
Coming up next, 7:30 news with Kendall, and then we're chatting local soccer and CEO of the SACE Board.
This week's Christmas special. Ferguson SA Southern Rock Lobster. Cooked fresh, snap frozen. Just $65 a kilo. Till December 20th while stocks last.
The mighty Salmon, yeah! The clock's ticking on Specsavers Health Fund offer. You can get a massive 30% off lens options. But hurry, offer ends December 31. Available with all health funds. Conditions apply. Should have gone to Specsavers.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 34 with the 7:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
The Samtaz South Aussie Seafood Christmas sale is on now, with large cooked king prawns just $27.99 a kilo.
Argentina has beaten France in the FIFA World Cup final in a penalty shootout. The sides couldn't be separated, finishing 3-3 after extra time, before Argentina's Lionel Messi found the back of the net from the penalty spot to break the deadlock.
He is. Argentina have won the World Cup. France have lost their title. Lionel Messi has won the World Cup.
And that call on SBS, it's only the third time the Cup has been won by a penalty shootout. Melbourne Victory is likely to face severe sanctions after fans were involved in a violent pitch invasion at Amy Park on Saturday night. Brian Wilson has more.
Melbourne Victory may be forced to play its remaining matches behind closed doors as part of potential sanctions that are likely to be imposed after the sport's governing body has issued the club with a show cause notice. The club may also be stripped of competition points and fined. The incident on Saturday night saw around 150 spectators rush onto the field. 2 players, a referee and a camera operator were assaulted in the melee. Victoria Police have set up a task force to investigate the incident. Already 2 people have handed themselves in after detailed images were published by detectives.
5 people have been arrested after fleeing a stolen car at Darlington this morning. An off-duty police officer spotted the Mitsubishi SUV on South Road at Hilton. It had been stolen over the weekend from Christie's Beach. Senior Constable Jen Collinan says the vehicle was pursued on South Road before being spiked at Clovelly Park.
The car eventually came to a stop on Seacombe Road, Darlington, where 7 people ran from the vehicle in multiple directions. Now, patrols quickly set up cordons in the area and they called in dog operations, and police dog Zeus found 2 of the group hiding in an arrestor bed on the expressway, and 3 of the other youths were found in the back streets of Sturt.
Gun safety advocates want uniform gun laws across the states and territories. It follows the shooting murders of Constables Rachel McCrow and Matthew Arnold, along with a neighbour, at a Queensland property last week. The Australian Gun Safety Alliance's Stephen Bendel says legislation needs to keep up with changing technology.
We've got to make sure that we just keep up to date with things such as 3D printing, for example, of firearms, which we know is occurring.
It'll be a day of mixed emotions for our Year 12 students, with SACE results out this morning. They'll be available online from 8:30. And Australian tourists trapped in a town below the famed Machu Picchu have boarded trains as they try to escape Peru. More than 170 Australians are attempting to escape the embattled South American country amid deepening political violence. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Kendall. As heard earlier, Argentina has defeated France in a penalty shootout to win the World Cup. Former Socceroo Craig Foster believes the victory cements Lionel Messi as the greatest player of all time.
On the balance of his record, he is. He has to be considered the best ever. Of course, we all have our favourites, and I grew up with Diego. But what Lionel Messi did this morning was perhaps eclipsed him.
To cricket, and the state of the Gabba pitch is being questioned after 34 wickets fell in just 2 days of play. Aussie skipper Pat Cummins says it was a challenging pitch for everyone involved.
A lot of sideways movement today, a little bit of up and down bounce as well. So, I mean, personally, don't mind if the groundsmen, err on the greener side occasionally. Played a lot of test matches where they've erred on the flatter side.
In the Big Bash, the Sydney Thunder has gone down to the Melbourne Renegades by 4 wickets, while finally Cole Chalmers has helped Australia break a new world record in the men's 4x100 metre medley relay. Australia tying with the USA to share gold in the final race at the Short Course Swimming World Championships. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Refresh your bathroom with a quick and affordable bathroom makeover. Visit bathroomwerx.com.
At Torrensville, look out for a smash on Carlton Parade at East Terrace. Uber 8 changed traffic conditions. That's due to intersection upgrade works, Fullerton Road to Crossroad. Speeds are down to 40 k's. Got a lane closed at Glynn, Payneham Road near Montague Road, and we're starting to get busy South Road at Karata Park. Cameras today, Clark Terrace Seaton and Days Road at Ferreton Park. At Telstra, buy a selected Samsung Galaxy phone and get a bonus Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 worth up to $649. Offer ends December 25. Redemption criteria and conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
To the weather, mostly sunny and 34. A shower or two tomorrow, 31. Showers and a possible storm for Wednesday, 27. And cloudy for Thursday, 23. At the moment, 24. More news as it happens on 5AA.
SA's own and favourite milk company, FIVEAA Milk Company, is giving you the chance to win a $4,000 Phil Hoffman travel voucher. Take home our limited edition Christmas products and get creative. Take a pic of them under your Christmas tree as a Chrissy decoration. Anything you can think of. Then share your pics on Facebook or Instagram and tag FIVEAA Milk Company and Phil Hoffman Travel. You could win a $4,000 travel voucher. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
In tough times, it's the simple things that make a big difference. Like $17 schnitzel days at the Albion Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. We know the humble schnitty can't fix all our problems, but we do know it'll put a smile on your dial. $17 schnitties Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the Albion Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and the Lighthouse Wharf. Making the world a better place. One schnitty at a time. Got to start somewhere. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
7:37, Monday the 19th of December, Christmas week. Festive mode here, 6 days to
Big
go.
time. Yeah, how good.
Getting very keen for the big day. We're in for a top of 34, mostly sunny today. And then by Christmas Day, we're going sort of up and down a little bit with the weather. But on Christmas Day, sunny and 30 degrees. Now being Christmas week, I'm feeling festive and I've got a nice little gift to give away all week.
Oh, I like this.
Very exciting for our rev heads. Now we want to know, 8223 0000, your favourite teacher and what they taught at school. Today is the day Year 12s get their results. But if you give us a ring, 8223 0000 for your favourite teacher at school and what they taught, I have some Velo Adelaide 500 tickets to give away for next year. Robbie Williams is headlining the Velo 500 Sunday 26th of November. Tickets are on sale now at 2022 prices until December 31. So buy now at Ticketek. These aren't tickets to Robbie Williams, but they are tickets to the event, a double pass. Give us a ring, 8223 0000. We want to hear your favourite teacher and what they taught, and we will take your calls shortly. But first, we're going to chat now with Lou Richards, who is the president of Adelaide Victory FC. Good morning, Lou.
Good morning.
Now, Adelaide Victory FC, you're a community-run soccer club based at the FIVEAA Council, and you've got a fundraising event tonight.
Yeah, well, it's today between 10 and 1. It's an opening of the Dover Street Reserve, which is a new reserve for Adelaide Enfield Council. Spent $4.5 million renovating and doing a bit of a little soccer field, and there's a half-court basketball court, and one of the modern playgrounds, and there'll be face painters there. There will be musicians, and Adelaide Victory will do a bit of a camp there for them.
This sounds outstanding, Lou. It sounds like it's a bit of an expansion of the facility and for the soccer club as well, and you've got a lot of juniors there as well, so it's a big opportunity to support the soccer club, and also a great community event, as you say, for everyone surrounding the area too.
Yeah, it is, and it's an important thing for the area. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a long time, to have another little pitch for the little ones to play on. I mean, it's only a mini roost pitch that's out there, but it's a great little pitch, and we're looking forward to getting our hands on it and using it at the moment, because we haven't used it yet.
Lou, will you have a soccer clinic there today as well?
Yeah, we will. We'll have a soccer clinic. There'll be 2 soccer clinics run during the day. Plus, we're going to give away little prizes. We're going to have a shooting competition for the other kids that are there, and just help them a little bit with the techniques and things like that.
And how many people, probably hard to say, but a beautiful day, Lou. We should hopefully get a pretty good turnout there today, I would have thought.
Well, we hope so, because it's the first day of school holidays, so it should be a nice day, and I think that's why the Adelaide Enfield Council has put it on today, because it's the first day of school holidays, and we're hoping for a big crowd.
Absolutely, Lou. So 10 o'clock this morning at the Dover Street Reserve. What time? I see you've got coffee trucks, you've got live music and live magic shows. They're all running from 10 o'clock?
That's correct.
Excellent. Perfect day to get down there with
Wonderful.
the kids and support it. Thank you so much, Lou.
And especially, great stuff. Thank you, Lou. And especially during school holidays, as Lou said, often difficult for parents and grandparents and siblings and loved ones to find things to do to keep kids entertained. So that's not a bad idea at all if you are looking to entertain the kids and do something with the round ball. There's a lot of activities to do down there as well, outside of soccer, to face painting and the like. So should be a great day for it.
Definitely. Now, I have asked for the general crowd of 5AA listeners this morning to give a shout out to their favourite teacher and what they taught in Year 12. My inspiration, not only for this talk topic, Tom, was the Say Sport is coming up shortly. Year 12s do get their results at 8:30 this morning. But my favourite teacher... Marlene Jarema has retired after, I won't say how long, she might not want me to share her age necessarily, but her entire teaching career. She's been a languages teacher. She was my French teacher for 5 years. She has retired along with one of her good friends who was an English teacher at the school where I went to. She's retired after all this time, and I'm very excited for her. She took me on a few French trips. She was my inspiration to keep doing French at uni.
And you still speak it, which is, and this is at Wolford?
This is at Wolford, yes. So Marlene Jarema has actually been on our show. She was born on the leap year, so we've had her on as our leap year baby. She's only 13 years old.
Exactly. That's a nice way of looking at it.
But big congratulations to you, Madame Jarema. I'm very thrilled you can enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, great stuff. Well said, Lucy. Mine, he's also retiring this year. He's currently the principal. And look, had a lot of great teachers over the years, but in Year 12, and I think holistically as well, Peter Coffey, who is finishing up this year as well, funnily enough, at St Ignatius. Absolutely brilliant. I did economics in Year 12, probably a poor choice when you consider my economics knowledge isn't brilliant, but he was outstanding, just inspiring, hardworking, passionate, and it's, a career that's been dedicated to the education system and to the students and his staff. You will not meet someone who is more dedicated. So he got me through in many ways in Year 12, and I know a lot of friends of mine who were in that class as well felt the same way. So well done to Mr. Coffey. Fantastic work, and he'll be a big loss to that system, but retirement will enjoy it, I'm sure. And also, I've got to give a shout out for favourite teachers. My old man was a teacher for some 35
so was mine.
years. So yeah, right, there you go.
There we go.
So yeah, he was, and Mum was a teacher as well.
Oh,
both high
so
schools,
was mine.
Yeah, we've got to give them a shout out to our parents. They're our best teachers,
That's right.
weren't they, as well?
The Rehns and the Lokans.
Yeah.
So for the FIVEAA Adelaide 500 tickets for next November, we are asking, who's your favourite teacher? What did they teach? Ben in Christie's Beach, good morning.
Morning, Rennie. Morning, Lucy. How are you?
G'day, Benny.
Well, thank you. Who is yours, Ben?
I've got a couple. I went to Trinity College out at Gawler, and I went away with a group of guys and a teacher. Mr. Burv, his name was. We went away to the Grampians. We did Mount Impossible, I think it was, and we were in year 10, and it was just one of the best experiences for all of us, or most of us, that we'd ever had. And he was a counsellor without being a counsellor, and he just talked to the kids, like treated them like a good teacher should. And yeah, we ever since we got back from that trip, we all still catch up and talk about it and stuff. And the other teacher was Mr. Pierce, Paul Pierce, who was actually Mr. Australia one year, I think many years ago. And he was a bit of a unit, and you could never pick what he taught if you didn't know him. But he was actually an art teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, and he got all the kids that weren't really that great at art. He got them all into art, and a lot of them went on to do pretty cool things. So.
Excellent. Both, you've got a Grampians counsellor, not counsellor, and a Mr. Australia art teacher, Ben. I like it. Thank you for that. Dave in South Brighton, good morning.
Morning, guys. My teacher, I'm so long ago that I actually never went to year 12, but there was a teacher in my high school who was a woodwork teacher, and he was hard. He was really hard on perfection. 5 mil was not close enough. It had to be to the half mil when you made something. That set us up for working in the trades for the rest of our lives. The best teacher you could ever have. He was hard at the time, but I look back now with great appreciation because he set myself and many other guys up, mainly guys at that stage, to work in metal trades, woodwork trades, and he was just a fantastic guy and very fair and a really nice guy. And unfortunately passed away a few years ago now, but I still have him in my mind.
It's great call. Thanks so much, Dave. It's funny how things stick with you, perhaps even sporting coaches as well, or great teachers. You don't appreciate it at the time, but once you get a bit older, a bit more mature, and you reflect, you realise how impactful, a good teacher and someone that can, pass down that knowledge and those skills that you use for the rest of your life, how important that is. It's crucial. Good teachers are like diamonds. It really is great to hear these stories. Let's go to Yuri, though, from Beaumont. Good morning, Yuri.
Hello, season greetings to all. Back in the mid-70s, I was at Plympton High School. There's two teachers in particular. One guy who I think, Mr. Pemberthy, if he's listening, my PE teacher became a very, very close friend. The late Brenton Miles, premiership player for Sturt. He was an absolutely magnificent guy. Everyone loved him, and I think he left the teaching profession years ago, became Miles Real Estate. And unfortunately, at 49, with 4 boys, was driving his car. His son one day had a heart attack and died on the spot. So it's sad for Brenton Miles. Also, my maths teacher in year 11, I just scraped into year 11 from third year high school, and Brian Nadalow, he was he was a real mate to us. He helped us. I had a bit of trouble with a bit of work, but I ended up getting really good marks through maths and whatever in other subjects. He really helped me through year 11.
Oh,
so they're the two great teachers who I love to bits.
Thank you so much, Yuri. Excellent calls there. 2 teachers again nominated. Let's go to Scott in Glenunga. Good morning.
Good morning, Lucy and Tom. How are we?
Good, thanks, Scotty.
One of my teachers that really stands out for me was my year 7 teacher, Mrs. Fleming. In year 7, I remember her teaching most things because, primary school teacher, getting you ready for high school. But I did a assignment on the Commonwealth Games in Brisbane, which I think was 1982, in year 7, and I got an A for that. And, just such a supportive teacher and just so nice. I've still got that assignment. And a special mention to my woodwork teacher. He was a great teacher, and his name was Mr. Maple. So how's that for a woodwork teacher?
Oh, meant to be. His career was destined for him.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you for the call, Scott.
Some
It's
great
nice
calls
hearing
there.
people nominating their teachers. You can keep the calls coming in, 8223 0000. We'll check traffic shortly and come back with Michaela Bensley, the CEO of the SACE Board. Here is traffic. First of all, though, join ABA Plumbing's Christmas fundraiser with Santa, Bouncy Castle and Family Fun this Friday, 10 till 4 at Stepney.
Good as gold for the drive-in today. No great hassles, which is excellent. Simply some works to keep in mind. You'll find them at Urbray with changed traffic conditions at Fullerton Road at Crossroad. They've widened that intersection there. Speed's still down to 40 at the moment. Got a lane closed at Glen, Paynham Road near Montague Road. Got works continuing at Queenstown, Old Port Road near Wilson Street. Slow going at the moment, South Road at Karata Park with a camera, Lily Street at Blair Athol. Harris Scarf's 4-day sale ends tomorrow. Get 50% off all cookware, dinnerware, quilt covers, sheets and pillows. 40% off selected clothing and bras plus more. Exclusions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
There's naughty or nice, stunning and stylish, or tasty and tasteful. Merry Christmas, folks. I'm Brett Charlesworth, and they're just three of the eye-popping Christmas gifts we make for you at Charlesworth Nuts. They're all overflowing with our amazing nuts and chocolates and made with great pride by our talented South Aussie team. With 100 different gift boxes, packs and hampers, there is literally something for everyone. You simply can't go wrong. 11 family-owned stores or shop online. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
End of year is always a big one at Wayville and Southern Mitsubishi. So if you're looking for a new Mitsi or an outstanding used vehicle, take advantage of the end of year sale at Wayville and Southern Mitsubishi. Plus same day or next day servicing. Driven by Australian Motors.
Hi, Susanna Toop here from Toop and Toop. $450,000. That's the average price of an investment property in Adelaide. It's also the value of the asset you are trusting your property manager with. As a director and CEO of Toop and Toop Property Management and a lawyer, looking after your property is my team and I's sole focus, and we take this responsibility very seriously. Building long-term relationships with our clients is really important to us. Who are you trusting to look after your biggest investment? Toop.com.au.
What's on your bucket list? Skydiving? Swimming with dolphins? Hot air ballooning? Before you plan a bucket list, plan your will with Donlan Lawyers. A will, power of attorney and advanced care directive speak for you when you can't. It means you and your loved ones will be taken care of. Visit donlanlawyers.com. Put it on your bucket list. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Car, bus or truck window smashed, cracked, scratched or chipped? Call Complete Windscreens. For over 40 years, this family-owned SA company have given motorists a clear view of the road ahead with their 24-hour windscreen repair and replacement service. No one does it better than Hayden and Lindsay Dean at Complete Windscreens, which is the very reason you should tell your insurer you want Complete Windscreens on the job. You deserve the best, most reliable and cheapest. CompleteWindscreen.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
It is 7:51. Good news. I've just been told by our pricing department that the Velo Adelaide 500 tickets do include Robbie Williams access next year. Give us a call, 8223 0000. To nominate your favourite school teacher and what they taught or what they helped you with. We'll be taking some more calls after the break. We welcome now Michaela Bensley, the Chief Executive of the SACE Board, because Michaela, at 8:30, Year 12s get their results today. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me on the show, and good morning to your listeners.
Now, before we get to some general stats, we've got to ask the big one first. How many students got the big 99.95?
Yes. So, it's really important that students achieve their best. We had 10 students who achieved 99.95 and over 1,000 students who received at least one merit, with a few students receiving more than 5 merits and one student even achieving 6. But I just want to emphasise, even though that's really important, just students' individual success and achieving their own personal goals is really, for us, what's the most important.
And which is fantastic. And it seems a lot of students have done brilliantly, record numbers as well, Michaela, and some 98.7 7% of Year 12s have finished their SACE in 2022, which is a wonderful result.
Yeah, it's particularly amazing when you think about these young people have only ever experienced their SACE through the challenges of COVID. So everything from lockdowns to remote learning to then hybrid learning. For a while there, they weren't even able to play sport and some of those social activities weren't there, and they didn't have access to some of their friends, which is just a really crucial support system. So it's a real testament to the resilience of these young people, the support of their families, and really importantly, their teachers in the schools who are really invested in these students achieving their own personal goals. So it's a real day of celebration.
Now, the results come out at 8:30. How will the students get their results? Back in my day, it was post and online. Are you guys sticking just with an online portal now?
So the results are available from 8:30 online, so students will have their pins and everything ready to be able to do that, but we also still print the results, particularly their certificate, because that's really important for students and families, and they receive that sometime this week, depending on the Australia Post schedule. But yep, they still get hard copy as well.
Do you expect at 8:30 that the website will crash?
It is the most important day for us this year, and the focus has to be on students and for students to be able to access those results in a really easy and quick way. We've done absolutely everything to ensure that happens, and I know it's going to be a great day for everyone.
And Michaela, no doubt a lot of elated and relieved students, as well as their families. You spoke about the journey being for the entire family, for the Year 12 students, but for those that do have some disappointment and don't perhaps get the result that they were seeking, I think it's important for them to perhaps put some perspective on it and realise that it's not the end of the world if they don't get the result they perhaps have been aiming for.
Absolutely. I think that's a really important point, and that's certainly what we're encouraging. Yep, it's one day, and these results are important, but what's really important is that students have learnt something, that they still kind of like focus on things that they're really passionate about, and if they haven't been able to achieve what they were hoping for, then I really encourage them to make contact with us, because we'd really like get into exploring what their options are, because there's lots and lots of options available for students, and I want them to, regardless of how they've achieved, feel really optimistic around what their future holds and the options and pathways available to them.
And Michaela, you said 10 students received the perfect marks, and one of them got 6 perfect scores.
Yeah.
Is that a first?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a first, but it's certainly, unusual. So this student is obviously, very high achiever and would have taken Year 12 subjects across multiple years. But having said that, 6 merits is quite extraordinary.
Michaela, before we let you go, you mentioned these students' future for those who do want to go to uni. Not everyone does, and people go off and do different things in life. But for those who have applied to uni and have applied to TAFE, when do those offers come out?
Yeah, the first offer round happens in that first week in January, and then there's opportunities after that for students to change their preferences depending on, they might have reflected and they might want to change what they were thinking of doing, and then there's multiple offer rounds that happen all throughout January.
No worries. Well, Michaela, we'll let you get back. A big day for you, no doubt, there, Chief Executive of the SACE Board. Thank you, Michaela.
Thank you very much for your time.
8:30 today, lots of Year 12 students will be very anxiously waiting. Countdown, we're at, 34 minutes?
Yeah, they'll be sweating on the online system. And you're right, Lucy, we have had issues with that in the past. So hopefully they've been ironed out and everyone's able to get on, because it will be a logjam. You imagine everyone's going to log in at roughly the same time, hoping to, realise their scores.
It goes quickly when you realise this day comes around every year and you hear about Year 12s getting their results and you think, gee, another year older.
Yeah, that's right.
The further away from school you get.
You reflect on your old days and when you did it yourself, and we had some great calls about it, and it makes you feel that little bit older every single time that it does come around.
That's it. Now we head to Toop and Toop Real Estate for our final real estate wrap of the year. Hello, Susanna Toop.
Hey guys, how are you?
Great, thank you.
We are very well. Now it is our last chat for the year. What are some real estate highlights from the past 12 months?
Look, 2022 has been a defining year. I think that we started the year with high growth here in Adelaide, and then we saw the handbrake firmly being pulled by the RBA in May, with sharp and rapid rate rises happening in succession. But I think the key takeaway from this year, despite the sort of two zones that we were very much in, first half and second half of the year, but Adelaide has continued to outperform the other capital cities. And just to a few highlights, Medindie has topped the charts with the highest average sale price for the year of based on 18 sales of $2.803 million. Second place was Rose Park, which recorded an average price of $2.3 million. For units, Heathpool was the star performer, recording a median sale price of just over $827,000. And regionally, Middleton was the top of the list with a median house price of $820,000. And when it comes to the highest growth over the last 12 months, Kensington Park recorded the strongest 12-month change for houses, up 53%. Seaton in Adelaide's West was the winner for units with a 39% uplift. And just with rentals as well, we've seen a big surge of interest in the northeast, particularly family homes. So it's not surprising we've seen a lot of investor activity this year in the area, specifically Mawson Lakes, Parafield and Golden Grove. So I think all up 2022 has been a really defining big year for property, and particularly here in Adelaide. And I think we've very much ended the year strong and stable. And I think it's sort of set us up for similar into 2023 and beyond.
Which is great to hear. What about just the weekend with the finer weather coming, Susanna? Has that helped sales as well from what we saw over the past couple of days?
Yeah, look, we had a really bumper big weekend of auctions. We had properties go under the hammer in Glenunga, Prospect, Kensington Gardens, Burnside, Heathpool, Newton, West Croydon and Fulham. And just a couple of the results there in Heathpool, we had a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom home on 767 square metres, sold under the hammer for $2.36 million. And in West Croydon, a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, beautiful character cottage on just 467 square metres and sold for $852,000. So still property going under the auction right up until last weekend. I think it'll now drop away, and I think a lot of campaigns are now starting in the new year. But from the rental side of things, though, as well, we're very much around a lot of people moving into homes throughout this period of time. So sort of working through, just not the public holidays, but still I think it's going to be quite a busy season as we head into 2023 across the board.
Susanna, thank you for your insight this year in the real estate world. Have a very Merry Christmas to you and the team there at Toop and Toop, and we'll chat again in the new year.
Thanks, guys. You too. Merry Christmas. We'll speak soon.
Susanna
Thanks,
Toop,
Susanna.
keeping on top of the real estate. You've been a bit up and down coming out of the pandemic, but we will continue the real estate chats into 2023. Coming up after the 8 o'clock news, we'll take more of your calls for your favourite teacher and chatting to the head of Rundle Mall, talking about extended Christmas hours. Back after Kendall.
City Discount Tires.
For the best advice and price on tyres and mechanical, see City Discount Tyres. With local deals on the world's biggest and best brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts for four-wheel drive, SUVs and passenger cars. Finance available. Find your nearest dealer at citydiscounttyres.com.au. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 34 with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
The Samta South Aussie Seafood Christmas Sale is on now, with crayfish just $77.80 a kilo.
Argentina has won the 2022 FIFA World Cup, beating France in a penalty shootout. More from Mike Pearsall.
It was the Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe show. The two PSG teammates constantly upstaging each other with more than 1 billion people watching worldwide. Messi scored twice for Argentina and had a hand in another, while Mbappe became just the second player in history to score a hat-trick in the tournament decider, twice helping France come from behind to send it to a shootout. The tournament ultimately decided by Gonzalo Montiel, scoring the winning penalty past French keeper Hugo Lloris.
Melbourne Victory may be forced to play its remaining matches behind closed doors as part of the potential sanctions likely to be imposed after fans invaded the pitch at Amy Park on Saturday night. 2 people have already handed themselves into police. The hunt continues for many more. It's estimated more than 150 fans jumped the fence and ran riot, injuring Melbourne City goalkeeper Tom Glover and a cameraman. Former Adelaide United coach John Kosminas says he was shocked by what he saw.
That was just way over the top. It was immature and it was cowardly. If they'd have just walked out, put their signs up and walked out, that's a sensible statement, and it's probably the way you do things in the 21st century. This harks back to the early days of the NSL.
An off-duty police officer spotted a stolen car with 7 people inside at Hilton early this morning. The officer followed the car till patrols arrived, but it sped off down South Road. Its tyres were spiked at Clovelly Park before the car came to a stop on Seacombe Road at Darlington. The occupants ran off, but Senior Constable Jen Cullinan says 5 were quickly rounded up. with the help of police dog Zeus.
We've got a 17-year-old boy and a 23-year-old woman who've been charged with illegal use. They're going to court today. And 3 boys aged 17, 15 and 13 have been charged with illegal use, and they're going to Christie's Beach in February. So we don't yet know who the driver of the vehicle was, and we continue to search for the outstanding 2 youths.
A 5-year-old boy is recovering in hospital after being attacked by a dingo in Queensland. He'd been holidaying with his family on FIVEAA Island when he was mauled at the Ocean Lake campground, suffering injuries to his head, arm and back. Well, the nervous wait's nearly over for Year 12 students. Their SACE results will be published online in half an hour. Michaela Bensley from the SACE board has told 5AA Breakfast some students have done exceptionally well.
We had 10 students who achieved 99.95 and over 1,000 students who received at least 1 merit, with a few students receiving more than 5 merits and 1 student even achieving 6.
And the first round of uni offers will come out in early January. Australians are expected to spend a record $66 billion this festive season. Research suggests we're engaging in freedom shopping after 2 years of COVID restrictions. Australian Retailers Association Chief Paul Zara says there's also been a rise in people shopping in bricks and mortar stores.
We saw last year around delivery times, getting actual gifts in time. Of course, today, by this stage, online businesses can't really guarantee you're going to get the present in time. So there's a massive shift towards shopping in store now, and this week will be a massive week in store.
And posties switching to electric delivery vehicles are causing headaches for councils and local residents. Brian Wilson explains.
Posties are swapping their motorcycles for larger electric trikes, resulting in the organisation writing to local councils asking them to make extra space on footpaths by removing trees and bushes. The trikes carry triple the load and need more space, but the move has angered many local residents, saying they want their trees and greenery to remain. Australia Post says it didn't ask for trees to be removed, but simply asked councils to clear footpaths of vegetation that may impede the progress of the trikes. Over 3,000 of the new electric trikes are being rolled out around the country.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderall Garage Doors, adding strength, safety and style to South Australian homes for over 40 years. Gliderall.com.au.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Kendall. As heard earlier, Argentina has won the World Cup, defeating France in a penalty shootout following a 3-3 draw. Lionel Messi finally securing the trophy that has eluded his career. Former Socceroo Craig Foster telling SBS she couldn't write a better script for Messi's World Cup farewell.
This fairy tale set up so perfectly for him to step into the giant shoes of Diego Maradona, and no one else likely in the history of the game could have even attempted to do that.
To cricketer Mitchell Starc has joined an exclusive club of Australian cricketers to have taken 300 Test wickets. The fast bowler brought up the milestone during the Aussies' 6-wicket win over South Africa. Skipper Pat Cummins says Starc will go down as one of the greats.
The longevity you've got to have to get 300 as a fast bowler, the injuries you've got to overcome, playing all around the world, different conditions, in form, out of form, different, commentary. It's, you've seen it all by the time you get 300s.
To swimming, in the men's 4x100 metre medley relay team has set a new world record in a dead heat with the USA. Kaylee McEwen has become the first woman in history to hold the Olympic, Commonwealth, long course and short course titles in the same event. She won gold in the 100 metre backstroke at the Short Course World Championships to write her name into history.
Kaylee's into the line and she will win another gold for Australia, and she is the undisputed backstroke champion of the world.
Yeah, amazing stuff there. Well, finally, plenty happening in the NFL this morning. The Jaguars defeated the Cowboys in overtime, as did the Chiefs against the Texans. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the 5AA traffic.
Refresh your bathroom with a quick and affordable bathroom makeover. Visit bathroomwerx.com.
Pretty good for the drive-in today. No great hassles or accident or breakdown free on the majors, which is nice. Simply some works to keep in mind today. You'll find a lane out of action, slowing things up at Eastwood, Glen Osmond Road near Greenhill Road. Changed traffic conditions this morning at Urbray. They've widened the intersection of Fullerton Road at Crossroads. Still at 40 though. Busy at the moment, Greenhill Road at King William Road with a camera trimmer parade at Seaton. Is someone breaking the law on public transport? See it, report it via direct QR codes across all services. Search Adelaide Metro for more information. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Mostly sunny, heading for 34. A shower or two tomorrow, 31. Showers and a possible storm for Wednesday, 27. Then cloudy on Thursday, 23. Right now, 25. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Who can fix the shower?
Service today.
Who can fix the power?
Service today.
Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
From emergency plumbing to electrical and heating and cooling, no matter what size job you need, at Service Today the answer will always be yes we can. It's Service Today guaranteed or it's free.
Can you fix the shower? Yes, we can. Can you fix the power? Yes, we can. Yes, we can, is what we say at Service Today.
Look out for our bright yellow trucks.
Now, the Fish Factory want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. If fresh seafood is always a feature of your Christmas feast, make sure you check out the Fish Factory.
The Fish Factory process their fish direct from the fishing boats. You can't get fresher fish unless you actually eat it on the boat.
And Lucy, 'tis the season for crayfish. Buy it live or freshly cooked in shop. There's also SA West Coast oysters, freshly shucked on premises, and cooked or green SA King prawns.
And for the barbecue, there's whole fish like barramundi, kingfish, Atlantic salmon and more. Or if you are strapped for time, choose freshly filleted fish and frozen products.
Sounds delicious. Find it all at the Fish Factory, SA owned and family run for over 40 years. Open all week, including Christmas Eve. You can call to pre-order and collect any time before Christmas Day. Visit the Fish Factory, Grand Junction Road, Athol Park.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
8 on this lovely Monday morning. Sun streaming here at Hindmarsh Square. If you are in the city, it is 24 degrees, looking pretty good out on the roads. Give us a call though, 8223 0000. We are chatting to Rundle Mall very shortly about their extended shopping hours this Christmas, and we welcome your calls, 8223 0000 for your favourite teacher. We have tickets to next year's FIVEAA 500 and the Robbie Williams concert up for grabs. Just before we get to Rundle Mall, Tommy, a story in today's Advertiser, page 9, I wanted to bring up. There's a call to ban fat Santas at the shops.
Well, I find this bizarre because I would have thought that a portly or larger Santa is exactly what you want, but clearly not.
Australian health and wellness expert Dr. Vincent Candronata is saying that overweight Santas should be banned immediately from the shops. And even though we have never seen a skinny Saint Nick, he would like to see them replace all the portly Father Christmases at the retail centres right across the country. I don't know how I feel about that. The whole notion of Saint Nick is that he's a big jolly fellow.
Exactly, and you know that's bucking tradition, isn't it? Now I'm all for being healthy and efficient with the way we look and being as skinny as we possibly can be, but Santa, he's supposed to be a little bit rotund. So look, I don't get it, Lucy. I think this doctor might just have this one wrong.
Dr. Vincent says we shouldn't expect Santa to be fat because that sends the wrong message. Santas with sizable waistlines also promoted eating in excess during a period where the risk of heart attacks and fatalities is at their highest. Dr. Vincent wants to fight the stigma that you need to eat a lot and overindulge to celebrate festivities and be joyful. Yes, there are health concerns, obviously, if you are overweight, but people can manage this themselves. I think everyone has their own body size. There's no real right or wrong answers when it comes to what you are comfortable within yourself. And maybe Dr. Vincent's not comfortable within himself and he's now taking it out on Santas across the country.
Yeah, exactly. But all in moderation, as long as you're feeling healthy and okay. And I don't think it's a bad thing if Santa's a little bit bigger, but there you have it. I guess everyone's entitled to their point of view.
That's right, all in moderation. Before we get to chatting about Rundle Mall, Andrew in Highbury has called in on his favourite teacher. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning, how are you?
Well, thank you. Who's your favourite teacher?
I'd like to nominate Brother Michael Coughlin. He was a teacher at Ross Trevor College in the 70s and 80s. In fact, he's still there. I think he's in his late 80s now. And I guess he was our athletics coach. He was fantastic at that, but probably more importantly, he ran the RE there and he was just very caring, self-sacrificing and just really demonstrated to a lot of us, how to serve people, and it was an incredible inspiration in many people's lives, including my own, right through to many years later, like now. So, yeah, just a fantastic teacher, just brilliant.
Thank you for the nomination, Andrew. That's lovely. I'm sure if he's listening, he will have appreciated that, and still teaching from the 70s right through to today.
Great effort.
It's a fair
Fantastic.
effort.
I think it's great if we have people that want to stay in the education system. It's really, really good, and that experience is definitely appreciated, I reckon.
Keep your calls coming in. We will get to them shortly. 8223 0000. A text here though from Ken. Hi guys, one of my best teachers was actually my guitar teacher from the age of 12 to 16. He was tough, never sugar-coated anything at all. I went on to be a guitar teacher in schools and a working musician around Adelaide for 30 years.
Well, that's great, isn't it?
Good on you, Ken.
Yeah.
Teachers inspiring the young to
Fantastic.
do similar careers. Let's bring Andrew White to the show. He's the General Manager of the Adelaide Economic Development Agency, responsible for Rundle Mall. Good morning, Andrew.
Hi, how are you going?
Good, thank you. Now, we've heard out this morning that around 85% of Australians have finished their Christmas shopping, with 6 days until the big dance. What are your thoughts on that, looking at Rundle Mall at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got a week to go before Christmas, but plenty of time to finish up your Christmas shopping in Rundle Mall. And we're open longer and later this week, which is great. So open through to 9 p.m. tonight, tomorrow and Wednesday, and open through till midnight on Thursday and Friday. So plenty of time, and it's going to be a great and big week for us.
It's been a difficult couple of years for the retail sector with everything that's been happening with regards to COVID, Andrew. Just how much better has it been this year, and how much turnover and sort of action can we expect for the retail industry over the next 6 days?
Yeah, so it's a really important time for Rundle Mall and our retailers, and so far so good. The feedback's been really, really strong this period. But yeah, throughout the Christmas period, South Australians are actually expected to spend about $4.1 billion through Christmas, which is actually an increase of 6.6% on last year. So yeah, and a big part of that's going to happen in Rundle Mall. So yeah, very excited.
What do you reckon are the big winners this year for Christmas gifts for people, Andrew? What kind of feedback have you had from the traders?
Well, look, there's probably something for everyone. We've got over 700 retailers in the mall. For me, I'm going to be looking out at Uniqlo. That's one of our new store openings, which has been fantastic. But we've got all the old favourites, H&M and Sephora, and if you're into your books, you've got Dimmicks and or JD Sports if that's your go. So it's really going to be great. But I think it's more than just about shopping. We've got it's a tremendous atmosphere down there at Rundle Mall. So we've got carolers and live performances and our famous Christmas window. So, you can bring the kids in and have a great day out.
And weather as well, looking great over the next 7 days. I think maybe just a little bit of rain around on Wednesday. But aside from that, days like today should encourage more people to venture into the city.
Yeah, 100%. The weather's been up and down this year, obviously, but yeah, we're pretty excited about how it's going for this week. So you come in, you can grab lunch, grab a drink at 2KW, for example, and as I said, the atmosphere will be great.
Andrew, before we let you go, my number one question is, how's the queue at Hague's in the final week for Christmas? Then peak times, there are queues out the door both in the arcade and at the top of the mall there. How are they tracking?
Yeah, look, it is going to be busy time, but don't let that deter you. You can come in and, enjoy all your favourites. Hague's is one of my favourites, but there could be some queues, but not so long that it should deter anyone.
And finally, you may have already said, early morning, Friday night and Saturday night, are you guys opening until midnight? I know it's 9 p.m. for the next few days, but any midnight coming up?
Yeah, so 9 p.m. for the next 3 days until Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday is going to be until midnight. So that will be your last chance to get in and do the final bits and bobs. And on Christmas Eve, we'll be going through normal time at 5 p.m.
And Boxing Day, of course, is a Monday this year. How are things looking for the all-important Boxing Day sales?
Yep, it's the final sprint. Really, I think it's going to be a strong period. I mean, spending throughout this Christmas period has been really, really strong and great feedback. So we're going to be in from 8 a.m. on Boxing Day, and that will be an opportunity to grab a bargain.
Excellent work. Thank you, Andrew. Good luck for this week in Rundle Mall. It is looking wonderful down there with the Christmas decorations. That's Andrew White, GM of Adelaide Economic Development Agency, responsible for them all. So 9 p.m, they're open till for the next 3 days, and then Thursday, Friday, open till midnight. So be kind to the retailers and the traders. It is a busy time. And then, of course, Boxing Day sales kicking off at 8 a.m. on Monday. I've never actually ever done the Boxing Day sales, Tommy. Usually I'm up at the farm and not quite committed to driving back from Clare to go to them, but maybe this year.
Well, that's it. Go in for a look. I'm usually watching the cricket Boxing Day. That's a bit of a tradition for me, so I'm a bit the same as you. But often you can spot a good bargain or even do your Christmas shopping for the following year for those that are really organised.
Which is not you or I, Tom.
No, exactly right. So we might be struggling, but maybe this is the year for us to buck the trend.
Maybe it is. Coming up after the break, we are chatting with Travis Dodd, former Adelaide United captain, about the incident that unfolded in Melbourne over the weekend. But first, let's check traffic. Join ABA Plumbing's Christmas fundraiser with Santa, Bouncy Castle and Family Fun this Friday, 10 till 4 in Stepney.
Thanks, Lucy. Pretty smooth run into work today. We're accident a breakdown around the majors, which is excellent. Simply some roadworks to keep in mind today. At Eastwood, you find a lane closed there. Glen Osmond Road near Greenhill Road. Busy for works at Trinity Gardens, McGill Road near Burnie Avenue. And you will find changed traffic conditions at Urbray. They've widened the intersection of Fullerton Road and Crossroads. Speeds down to 40. Busy right now, South Road at Karata Park with the camera, Lily Streets at Blarath. Looking to upgrade to the latest phone? Get huge deals on select phones at Optus with month-to-month SIM plans. Head into an Optus store or shop online today. Great value starts with Yes. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
A fresh new phone might be a great way to start the new year, and right now Harvey Norman has great Christmas deals on phones. Maximise every moment with a Nokia C31 with a dazzling 6.7-inch HD display and triple rear and selfie cameras. You'll get awesome photography day or night. Plus, Android 12 gives you the latest innovations from Google, including enhanced privacy. The Nokia C31 is just $198, save $70. Or there's the Samsung A33. It comes with a large and immersive 6.4-inch display for videos and movies. It comes with protection specially made to safeguard your device from accidental splashes and dust. The Samsung A33 save $100 down to $498.
Check out this great offer at 5AA.com.au. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
When you die, who gets what? Will your kids or relatives argue over your estate? Will your beneficiaries be protected? Will your estate be tax effective? Will your wishes be respected and carried out? Speak with Donlan Lawyers now for peace of mind. Donlan Lawyers for wills and estate planning. Visit donlanlawyers.com. That's donlanlawyers.com.
Hi SA, it's Harry Conway from the Adelaide Strikers here. We can't wait to get back onto Adelaide Oval on Tuesday, December 20 for our match against the Sydney Thunder. Get your tickets to see the best bowler in T20, Rashid Khan, and one of the game's biggest hitters, Chris Lynn, in his first season for the Strikers. A night at Adelaide Oval watching the Strikers is the perfect pre-Christmas catch-up. Get your tickets today at adelaidestrikers.com.au and I'll see you there.
Apply for a mobile card for your business today. Visit mobilecard.com.au to get discounts on mobile quality fuels, zero account fees and other exclusive benefits. Mobile Card, your business sorted.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
Good morning to you. It is 8:22. Lucy and Tom Rehn in the chair for this week. Rennie, we've been chatting all morning about soccer. Let's continue that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lucy, on a morning where we should be celebrating what was one of the great World Cup finals in a tournament where the Socceroos shone so brilliantly, far exceeding everyone's expectations. Sadly, the chaotic and downright scary events of Saturday night's Melbourne derby have instead overshadowed much of that. In a match between Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City, fans from both supporter bases began protesting the league's decision to host the A-League Grand Final in Sydney for the next few years. But what followed could only be described as one of the darkest chapters in our country's rich sporting history, as hooligans and thugs stormed the pitch, assaulting City keeper Tom Glover and the referee, as well as a cameraman. The game was called off as disbelieving fans, followers, officials and players are now left to pick up the pieces following the horrific incident. Where to now? What punishments should follow? How does the league and game try to move forward? Well, joining us now is former Socceroo, Adelaide United captain and current NPL coach for Croydon, Travis Dodd. Trav, thanks so much for your time.
Tomo, thanks for having me. Pleasure as always.
Trav, it wasn't great, was it? You know, you are so passionate about the game. We often talk about it. We catch up regularly. But what happened Saturday night? Gee, it wasn't good viewing.
We've seen so much of how well the Socceroos did, and how much of a lift that Socceroos campaign in the World Cup has given Australian football, and we generally see that every 4 years. So. To come off the back of that momentum, which was really high, the guys did so well getting out of the group stage to then come back to the A-League, the first round back after the World Cup. It's devastating, to be honest, and it's probably something that is going to set our game back many years, and it's such a shame because it was starting to track so well. Obviously, you said before about fans wanting to protest about the APL's decision to have grand finals in Sydney for the next 3 years, but I can't help but think, that it potentially could have been avoided. I know we can't, lay blame solely to players or anything like that, but Glover throwing a flare back into the crowd probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Well, it's a situation you've been involved with before yourself, Trav, as a player where flares have come onto the pitch.
I have, absolutely, and it's as much as you like to get it and just hurl it back and let people know what it feels like to be in that situation. The time that it did happen with me when I was playing, I picked it up and I threw it off to the side because you don't want things to escalate, and unfortunately what we saw on Saturday night was I think part of that escalation, but also part of the protest that has gone massively wrong. Now, to have players injured, Glover injured, and I'm sure we've all seen photos of him with a cut on the side of his face from where he was hit with the bucket, and the referee, Alex King, and the cameraman. I can only think that the APL and Football Australia are going to come down really harshly on Melbourne Victory, and so they should.
What should happen, Trav? Is it life bans? Is it playing in front of empty stadiums? Is it a deduction of points? What needs to happen from here, do you think?
I think for me it's a combination of all of them. It has to be all of them because the life ban goes without saying, but the biggest thing I have and the issue with that is how that actually gets policed, because it's unless you've got facial recognition at every turnstile and everything like that, that's going to stop that. I don't know how you really police that. The points deduction, I think there needs to be a big points deduction. There needs to be a monetary fine, and they also need to play behind closed doors, if not for the rest of this season beyond, because it's an absolute disgrace what happened. No player should ever have to go out in the field and wonder if they're going to get stormed and have buckets of sand thrown at him and potentially concuss him. He could miss games from this now because of a potential concussion, and depending on how severe the damage is. So, and look, he's not the only one. Obviously, there's the referee and the cameraman that you just don't expect these things to happen. You might see this in South American leagues from time to time when things escalate, but I would never have thought in a million years that it would be happening on our own doorstep.
And Trav, it overshadowed, what was one of the great World Cups. I know there was the off-field drama leading up to and during with protests about Qatar, but it was a hell of a World Cup. As you said, the Socceroos, so good. We made so much progress. And the final this morning, I know you were up for it. What did you make of that final? I mean, it was phenomenal.
That was one of the games for the ages, to be honest. To have the game, I think the ultimate would have been Argentina versus Portugal in the final, to have Messi and Ronaldo. Yep. But I think Messi versus Mbappe with France is the next best thing. Watching it, I certainly thought that Argentina were home and hosed at 2-0. France just looked like a shadow of themselves. We'd seen that, or we'd heard that players had been sick in the lead up to the final, so there was always going to be doubts over player fitness. Then, 60 odd minutes, 70 minutes into the game, I thought the Argentina coach made a strange substitution. He took Angel Di Maria off, who was absolutely killing him out in the left wing, and that seemed to turn the tide for France a little bit. They got back into the game. They were getting more opportunities, and the 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes from Mbappe to level the game. You just thought that the tide was going to turn and it was going to go for France. And to have the seesawing match, it was just the momentum was going from one way to the other. It's not only for a World Cup match, but it's probably one of the best games of football that I've ever seen. So it was, the occasion was just massive. The football was fantastic, and that is a great advertisement for the World Game.
Yeah, and hopefully that can, be talked about more. We need that positive energy and momentum after what was a really unfortunate and horrendous set of events on Saturday night. Trav, I know you're doing great things in the coaching space with Croydon, and you work with the Indigenous community as well. Keep doing that, and look forward to catching up soon.
Thanks, Tomo. It's your shout for dinner, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. Thanks. We'll do that this week.
See you, mate. Done.
Thanks, Trav. Travis Dodd there, former Adelaide United captain and Socceroo, and I think he summed it up pretty well there. We need some fairly hefty sanctions, and then hopefully, Lucy, we can begin the healing process and the A-League can look to move forward after, what was a shocking set of circumstances on Saturday night.
After the 8:30 news with Kendall, we're chatting with Becky Cole. She's been in the Riverland and performing at Carols by Candlelight.
SA's own and favourite milk company, FIVEAA Milk Company, is giving you the chance to win a $4,000 Phil Hoffman travel voucher. Take home our limited edition Christmas products and get creative. Take a pic of them under your Christmas tree as a Chrissy decoration. Anything you can think of. Then share your pics on Facebook or Instagram and tag FIVEAA Milk Company and Phil Hoffman Travel. You could win a $4,000 travel voucher. T's and C's apply. See website for details.
The holiday period can be a struggle, and sometimes the best gift we can give is our support. Visit Lifeline to download our Supporting a Loved One guide to find out 7 ways that you can best support those closest to you these holidays. You can also give a donation or a holiday gift to help Lifeline keep doing what we do best, providing support for those in need. Gift hope these holidays at lifeline.org.au/shinealight.
Now, if the last time you were on the loo reading the news, you noticed things were looking a little drab, now the bathroom that is, give it the works.
A Bathroom Works makeover revives your bathroom for a fraction of the cost of a full retiling and replumbing in a fraction of the time.
Now, the secret is the Works enamel they use. It's tough stuff that's been specifically formulated to withstand years and years of boiling hot showers, scrubbing, cleaning, the works. And it's guaranteed, Lucy, for 7 years.
A quick, easy and, more importantly, reliable fix. Your bathroom ready to roll in a matter of days, not weeks. No spending weeks waiting with a smelly portaloo that's just come off the festival circuit in your front yard.
It's the season to treat yourself, so give the bathroom the fix you've wanted for years now for a fraction of the cost. Visit bathroomworks.com for a free info package.
That's bathroomworks.com.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Mostly sunny and 34 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
The Samtaz South Aussie Seafood Christmas sale is on now, with large cooked king prawns just $27.99 a kilo.
Lionel Messi has led Argentina to its first FIFA World Cup title since 1986, taking France's title after a penalty shootout. More from Mike Pearsall.
Twice the French threatened to break Argentinian hearts, first coming from 2 goals down to force the game to extra time at 2-2 thanks to Kylian Mbappe. The star forward then completed his hat-trick to cancel out Messi's second goal in extra time, sending the title to penalties after a 3-3 draw. But there was no coming back once goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez saved Kingsley Coman's attempt, with Argentina going on to win the shootout 4-2 as heard on SBS.
Argentina are on top of the world.
Messi has been awarded the Golden Ball Award as player of the tournament, becoming the first player to receive the award twice.
Victorian Police is scouring video and social media photos to identify people who stormed the pitch during Saturday night's A-League match at Melbourne's Amy Park. 2 people have handed themselves in. Acting Superintendent Jason Goddard says everyone who invaded the pitch could be facing heavy fines.
If we can identify them, you can be rest assured that we will be investigating that and we will be looking to prosecute where we can.
More money is being pumped into the state's criminal justice system to deal with the number of Operation Ironside cases. Over $13 million has been set aside over the next 4 years after $8.8 million was allocated in the state budget. In addition, just over $300,000 has been provided to Forensic Science SA to manage its anticipated increased workload. More than 100 people are facing charges and 13 Ironside-related sentences have already been handed down. There's a growing push to nationalise gun laws following the murders of 2 Queensland constables. It's been more than 26 years since the last major national reforms, and the Gun Safety Alliance's Stephen Bendel says technology is making it easier for people to get a hold of firearms.
While it's just as important to make sure that we comply with the National Firearms Agreement, we've always also got to be careful about changes in technology and other things so that every state and territory make sure that firearms are safe in the community.
5 people have been arrested and 2 remain on the run after dumping a stolen car at Darlington this morning. The SUV's tyres were spiked at Clovelly Park before it came to a stop on Seacombe Road and the 7 occupants fled. Police dog Zeus found 5 hiding nearby. They're aged between 13 and 23 and have been charged with illegal use of a motor vehicle. The Mitsubishi had been stolen from Christie's Beach over the weekend. Year 12 students are madly logging on to find out their results. 10 have scored perfect results of 99.95 and 1 student's achieved 6 merits. Michaela Bensley from the Say Sport has told FIVEAA Breakfast others may not have done so well, but they shouldn't despair.
It's one day and these results are important, but what's really important is that students have learnt something, that they still kind of focus on things that they're really passionate about, and if they haven't been able to achieve what they were hoping for, then I really encourage them to make contact with us.
Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderroll Garage Doors' new Platinum and Native Series sectional doors are here. Gliderroll.com.au.
Here's Jace Kemp.
Thank you, Kendall. Football fans are hailing Lionel Messi as the greatest player of all time after leading Argentina to a World Cup title. The South American side claimed football's biggest prize in a penalty shootout over France. Former Adelaide United skipper Travis Dodd has told FIVEAA Breakfast it's one of the greatest games in the history of the sport.
Not only for a World Cup match, but it's probably one of the best games of football that I've ever seen. So it was, the occasion was just massive. The football was fantastic, and that is a great advertisement for the World Game.
To cricket, and South African captain Dean Elgar has criticised the state of the Gabba pitch following his side's 6-wicket loss to Australia. 34 wickets fell in just 2 days of play. Meantime, in the Big Bash, the Sydney Thunder lost by 4 wickets to the Melbourne Renegades. The Adelaide Strikers will face the Thunder again tomorrow night. Finally, in the swimming, the USA has finished on top of the gold medal tally at the end of the Short Course World Championships. Australia finished 1 behind with 13. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Refresh your bathroom with a quick and affordable bathroom makeover. Visit bathroomwerx.com.
Smooth sailing for the driving to work today. Pretty light traffic, which is nice. Should make it nice and easy. Do have a few works to look out for today. Got a lane closed at Glynn, Paynham Road near Montague Road. Also got some traffic work slowing things up today at Queenstown, Old Port Road near Wilson Street. Busy, Winifred Avenue at Anzac Highway. And got a few cameras around too, including Hanson Road, Elizabeth Downs, and Main North Road at Smithfield. Harvey Norman Extended Trade. All stores open until 7 tonight. Shop their huge range with last-minute gift ideas to suit everyone. Harvey Norman open until 7 tonight. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
To the weather, mostly sunny, heading for 34, a shower or two tomorrow, 31, showers and a possible storm for Wednesday, 27, then cloudy on Thursday, 23. Right now, 24. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
When I feel strong, I feel like dancing. When we feel strong, we feel like dancing.
Join the Wiggles and World Vision in bringing hope and joy to children around the world by sponsoring a child this Christmas. Your support can make them feel strong and proud through improved access to food and education. Sponsor a child today. Search World Vision.
I feel like dancing around the world.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Busted-hearted country singers write the saddest country music song.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
Misery and melody go hand in hand when harmony.
8:38 on this Monday morning. It's a beautiful voice of Becky Cole.
It's a stunning voice, isn't it?
Let's play that out for a sec.
But it's like staring at the wreckage.
We do have Becky on the line this morning. Good morning, Becky Cole.
Good morning.
Now, in exciting news, you are playing this Saturday in Melbourne at the Christmas Eve Carols, but a bit closer to home, you've been up in the Riverland on the weekend. How is it looking?
Oh, look, the River Murray is angry, isn't she? And it's just a sight to see. It's something I've never seen in my lifetime. I grew up visiting Mannum every school holidays and just absolutely fell in love with the place a couple of years ago. I bought a little, what I call a shack, and I absolutely love. So I've divided my time now between being on the road and being in Mannum, and I'm just watching the river rise and rise. I'm sort of up on the high side, so it's not going to get me, but it just, the town is devastated, as are so many of these gorgeous South Australian river towns. And so we decided to attempt to bring a little bit of cheer to the town.
Yeah, so you were playing a few songs in some pubs over the weekend, is that right?
Yeah, we went to, there's a couple of places that up high. There's a misconception that, people got to stay away from Mannum and other places. Certainly I can speak for Mannum in that we still love visitors coming, and there's still plenty of businesses that sort of are open to business. The main street is still open. It's all sort of barricaded up and ready for the waters to come. But so we were up there at Cafe Mannum, which is up high, and people might remember it's in the Mannum Motel there. It's a great little restaurant that spills out into a beautiful grassed area that actually overlooks the Murray. And we sat up there and played a few songs, and we had the locals and the mayor and a bunch of people come along, and we passed the hat around, raised a few $1,000s, and look, we'll do a bigger fundraiser down the track, but it was great to be able to, just while it's happening, just kind of bring some cheer, because there's a lot of the unknown there, I suppose. It's hard for locals.
It's great that you're able to do that, Becky, and I'm sure everyone appreciates that, the fact that you were able to bring a little bit of levity and a bit of light, in such a difficult time for so many people up there on the Riverland. And this weekend, of course, you're going to be playing in the Carols, as Lucy alluded to, in Melbourne. That's a great gig and something I'm sure you're really looking forward to.
I absolutely am. I'm going to be singing a duet with my old sparring partner, Adam Harvey, and we've been on tour for most of this year. He's a great friend and took me out on tour when I was feeling down after I wrote that song, actually, that you just played. So it was a sad time in my life. I'm a lot happier now, I have to tell you.
Well, we're glad to hear that.
Bringing some Christmas cheer, yeah, absolutely, and it'll be great to get into the Christmas spirit. It's a wonderful event, of course, the Christmas Eve Carols live on Channel 9, and it's wonderful to be a part of it, and with a whole bunch of other artists, and what a great way to spend Christmas Eve.
So you'll be in Melbourne for Christmas Eve. Does that mean you're having an interstate Christmas, or are you managing to quickly get back home for Christmas Day celebrations?
I did Christmas celebrations up at Hawthorne Dean at Mum's place with Grandma, who's 103, and all of my family. I did that yesterday, so we got it over and done with. So I've got that full belly feeling that today that you have.
A bit of a food coma. Yep.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm actually on a plane to the States on Christmas morning. I get 2 Christmas mornings, actually.
Wow.
I head to San Francisco on about lunchtime on Christmas Day, and then I get there early Christmas morning their time. So, I'm out of here for Christmas.
And Becky, have you got a favourite carol for the Christmas carols, or is it too hard to separate them?
Oh, look, I love Christmas songs. Carols and Christmas songs are two different things, aren't they? But I love "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." It's always sung at the end with the cast of thousands on these events, and for me, brings a tear to my eye. It's a little lump in my throat, and I think it's sort of a lot of work goes into these great big productions, and maybe that's why I love it. But look, I think it's a joyous time for families and especially for the little people, and these events are wonderful to just get those smiles happening, aren't they?
Becky, before we let you go, you're heading to America straight from Melbourne. Are you able to get back to Mannum during the December-January flood time, or are you away for a little while? So hopefully when you get back, the floods may have subsided?
Exactly. Look, and that is, I was going to say before, if you want to bring an eye roll from a local, ask them where they reckon the water's going to get to. It's really, how long's a piece of string, you know, but they're all prepared for everything. And when I have gone up and stayed at my little place, I'm running a generator now because the power's off and the sewage is about to turn off, so you can't press your button on your loo.
Gosh.
And, you know, it really is. But they're doing an amazing job. There's so many wonderful volunteers, and there's a relief centre set up at the footy club. And these locals just, they know how to look after each other. So it's just a matter of crossing our fingers and preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
Well, thank you for your time this morning, Becky, and we look forward to seeing you on Channel 9's Christmas Eve Christmas Carols this Saturday night. We hope you have a wonderful time in Melbourne and in the States.
Merry Christmas to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky.
Thanks, Becky.
Merry Christmas to you, Australia's favourite country singer there, of course. I didn't know she had a place in Mannum.
No, and great work that she's doing as well, you know, going back there and raising a few $1,000s, as she said, for the local community and to bring some smiles, and has said she'll go back there as well. And like she said, you know, hopefully, you know, they can minimise the damage as much as is possible. But I think, as we know, people on the Riverland set for a pretty tough few weeks.
Definitely. We were asking earlier for you to nominate your favourite teacher, what they taught, what life lessons they gave you. We've got time just to fit a few more in. 8223 0000. Christine in Gawler East, good morning.
Good morning. So it's not my favourite teacher because that was way too long ago, but my son's favourite and best teacher was the one and only Bill Lokan.
Oh, hey, Dad. That's very kind. Was that at Trinity or in, yes?
It was at Trinity, at Trinity, yes. Yeah, so, and he was fantastic, and my son used to get a little bit overwhelmed with school at times, and Bill said to me one day, he said, just give him a day off. Just give him a day off every so often. So we did.
Yeah, we had a few mental health days off in my family, that's for sure, Christine.
The best advice ever from a teacher.
Well, I'm really glad your son enjoyed being taught by my dad. That's lovely. Thank you, Christine. There was a shout out here for your dad too, Rennie. Where was it? Rex Rehn was many kids' very favourite teacher when I was teaching with him at Windsor Gardens in the 90s. Apples don't fall far from the trees.
I'm not sure about that, but Rexy, English teacher and English senior, absolutely loved it. So he'd get a kick out of hearing that, definitely. He was very passionate, as I know your parents were too. So it's nice to get that feedback, isn't it?
Definitely is. Debbie in South Plimpton, good morning.
Good morning, both of you. And what lovely words for both your dads. That must feel really lovely.
Oh, thank you, Debbie. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, my favourite teacher through high school was our history teacher, and he was a Sikh, and his name was Mr. Singh, S-I-N-G-H. He was beautiful. He wore a turban. He had a really long beard because they don't cut their beards, and it was all twisted up, and it looked like he had we always used to think he had a little apple seed under his chin to hold it there. But he also taught some English, and one of the things he taught me, and I've never forgotten this, and I've taught so many people this, you'd put your hand up and you'd go, Mr. Singh, can I go to the toilet? And he'd go, yes, you can, but may you?
He taught you the correct manners.
Yeah, and it's something I've never forgotten. And my husband says it all the time. My kids, I've said it to so many people. He was such a beautiful man. So, yeah, it was just something that always stayed with me.
Excellent. Mr. Singh, the history teacher. Thank you, Debbie. We go to Jenny in Hope Valley. Morning, Jenny.
Morning, guys. How you going?
Great, thanks,
we're
Jenny.
Well, thank you. Who's your favourite teacher?
Well, many decades ago now, my favourite teacher, he was called Mr. Massey. He was my form teacher, and he had a train set that went all the way around the class. So it's very tempting to look at that while we were doing our maths lesson.
Nice distraction.
It was beautiful.
Oh.
It's a beautiful train set. I've never seen anything like it.
Did you get too distracted, Jenny, or did he keep you on track?
I like it.
But,
Good one.
You know
Very
what?
good, Lucy.
That pun wasn't
Okay,
even
love,
intended.
take care.
Thanks, Jenny. I love hearing about that. What about that pun I just threw in there?
I thought the way you did it so deadpan, I thought, she's just nailed this.
Yeah, no, that was totally accidental. Producer Sam, good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to chime in too. Debbie's call just then about her Mr. Singh saying, may I go to the toilet or can I go to the toilet? My year 4-5 teacher, Carl Rowley from Hendon Primary, he was my favourite, even though he did move me to the front of the class because I used to talk too much. But he always used to say that as well. If you asked to go to the toilet, he'd go, I don't know. Can you? You have to say, may I? So that just triggered a memory on you, Debbie.
Just, the correct English, the grammar's important.
Correct English and grammar teachers are hard to find, but worth it, because then, as all of our callers have said, they stuck with them life lessons that they've passed on to their friends and their kids and grandkids. Teaching is a wonderful career.
It is, and it's often highly underrated, I think, as well. So, it's lovely to hear all these great stories of people who, have had fantastic teachers in their lives that have, really impacted them and I guess given them those life lessons and helped them, moving forward. So, and some even following in their footsteps. That text message we had a bit earlier about the guitar teacher, for some 30 years who was inspired by his guitar teacher. Wonderful to hear those stories.
We'll come back after the break and award the FIVEAA 500 tickets shortly, but just a few more texts before we get to the traffic. This one, continuing on with the soccer conversation. Rennie, Qatar was a good advertisement for no alcohol at sport, no reports of violence or poor crowd behaviour over the past month. Are you aware of any from Dave?
No, I'm not, and it's hard to know when you're not there, but yeah, there was a lot of conjecture about that at the start of the tournament, and it didn't ever seem like we had, huge issues, so I guess, that can often be the common denominator with any sporting. And it's not just soccer, we see it in cricket, AFL, all sports, there are crowd issues. And often alcohol is, something that precipitates a lot of that violence and I guess testosterone-fueled anger in the crowd. So it's not a bad call.
Kerry Ackerman, she does some broadcast work here on 5AA. You're doing some afternoons presenting, I believe, over the summer. She's texted us, my dad was a teacher and he loved taking kids to the airport to teach them about perspective by seeing a plane on the ground and one in the air, the same plane, but perceptively smaller far away, which the kids always loved. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Kerry, you as well. We'll hear you on 5AA. Cam from Campbelltown, who's listening all the way from Vietnam. Although not a qualified or traditional teacher, my two most valuable teachers are my 4-year-old daughter and world travel.
I like that.
I tend to agree.
4-year-old daughter would, I'm sure, teach a lot of patience, but also perspective and innocence
and imagination.
And imagination, and that's it. It's amazing what kids, the way they view the world and the way they take things in. It's always nice to hear see the way they see things.
Last one here from Karen. My favourite teacher was Mr. Bruce when I was in Year 11. I ended up buying a house just down the street from where he lived, so I got to know him years after I left school. He has since passed away, but I will always remember Mr. Bruce. Thank you, Karen. Let's finish with one call. Bev in Hampstead Gardens, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I had a wonderful teacher at Walkerville Primary School, Lynn Ridland, name was. She lived in the next street in Ways Road from me. And when she moved out to Hyde Park, she and her cronies, they played bowls, and she invited me to her 90th birthday party. So I made her a cake, iced and decorated it for her, and she got me up in front of all of them, and she said, she wrote in my diary, one day I hope to understand this little girl. And she got me up in front of her cronies, and she said this to all of them, and that because I was a bit of a tomboy, and and got me to cut the cake for her and everything.
Oh,
but, it was iced and flowers and everything with my handmade.
Yeah, that's lovely. You got to celebrate her 90th birthday with her. It's quite an achievement, Bev.
It was really lovely. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the call, Bev. That wonderful memory there.
Yes, beautiful.
We will award the FIVEAA 500 tickets shortly, but let's get to traffic. Join ABA Plumbing's Christmas fundraiser with Santa, Bouncy Castle and Family Fun this Friday 10 till 4 at Stepney.
At Martin, got a two-car collision Lower Portrush Road at Paynham Road. Urbray changed traffic conditions due to intersection upgrade works on Fullerton Road at Crossroads, speeds at 40. Busy at the moment, Winningford Avenue at Anzac Highway. I've got a lane closed at Glen, Paynham Road near Montague Road. Cameras this morning, Main North Road, Enfield and Port River Expressway at Gilman. Save this Christmas at Coles with $25 off online orders of $250 or more. Enter code GIFT25 checkout. T's and C's apply. Offer ends tomorrow. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
I'm Kathy Nagel, Chief Executive of Western Hospital Henley Beach. Chronic diseases may cause heart and vascular conditions that, left untreated, can cost you your life. Western Hospital offers a wide range of cardiology and vascular interventions which may prevent disease and could help prolong your life. Interventions range from cardiovascular health checks to diagnostic interventions like angiogram and stenting. For more information, visit westernhospital.com.au or phone 8159 1200 to arrange a referral.
Hi, Susanna Toop from Toop and Toop. $3,200. That's how much it will cost you if your property manager doesn't notice a dripping hot water service. Experience peace of mind. Experience the Toop and Toop difference. toop.com.au.
Now, Lucy, you know I'm very excited because the Adelaide Strikers BBL season is back at Adelaide Oval for another action-packed summer, and tomorrow night Adelaide Strikers play against the Sydney Thunder. The excitement is building. Rash, Linny, Kez and Trav, they're all set to light up the summer.
It is time for SA to turn blue and get behind your mighty Adelaide Strikers. And this season, get your hands on a free pair of Peter Siddle Sunnies, the P City shades, at the game. Tickets from $10, kids tickets starting at $5.
Cannot wait for this. The Adelaide Strikers, they've got a huge game coming up, so don't miss a moment of the action. Grab the family, your mates, and get your tickets at adelaidestrikers.com.au. Hopefully they can replicate something like we saw the other night when they bowled the Thunder out for 15. You'll want to be there to see that history in the making. The Adelaide Strikers against the Sydney Thunder tomorrow night from 6:45pm. Go Strikers.
City Discount Tires.
For the best advice and price on tyres and mechanical, see City Discount Tyres. With local deals on the world's biggest and best brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts for four-wheel drive, SUVs and passenger cars. Finance available. Find your nearest dealer at citydiscounttyres.com.au. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires. Don't just send it.
Chris from ASIC Couriers is with us. Chris, you need more drivers.
Absolutely, Rowie. We need more drivers to maintain our highest standard of perfect service. And due to new contracts starting, we need drivers urgently. So if you qualify and join our team now, we'll give you $1,500.
Wow! $1,500?
Yep, if you have a driver's licence, you're already qualified. So get in touch with us. Visit asiccouriers.com.au. Conditions apply.
For more than 10 years, Brenton Raglas and Kate Collins have brought you all the big stories on 9 News.
This is 5AA Summer Breakfast.
8:55, we will get to Best of Behind Closed Doors shortly. Gives me great pleasure to send someone off to the next year's FIVEAA Adelaide 500, including the Robbie Williams after-race concert.
Some great calls.
We had a lot of great calls, and I loved all of them. But I reckon Ben at Christie's Beach, for the teacher that took him to the Grampians, he was an unofficial counsellor, and then he also had another teacher he nominated who was the former Mr. Australia. Buff
Said
guy.
he's a bit of a unit.
Bit of a unit turned art teacher. So Ben in Christie's Beach, congratulations. You and a friend are off to the FIVEAA Adelaide 500, Sunday 26th of November 2023, and other people can get their tickets now, ticketek.com.au. But it is that time of the day. Let's get to John Blake's Best of Behind Closed Doors.
And when we get behind
Adelaide's best breakfast program. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
And welcome back to 5AA Breakfast. And David Penberthy, welcome back to you too.
Yeah, g'day, Will. How you going?
Oh, I'm really well, David.
Haute cuisine.
No, the program.
Croque Monsieur's Roy Rehn.
We'll be looking at
Sydney Pointy A1 Fangio.
Talking to the
Raff Fiends, Cock of In.
And a lot more on the program today.
You know, I'm emceeing a welcome ceremony for the Ukrainian family on the front page of the paper.
Yes, you are. How will you go with the language, David?
Well, I have a translator there, but I want to do a welcome to Australia, but it's difficult because if you translate a typically Australian phrase, it doesn't necessarily make sense to someone just because it's in their language.
No, that's right. I see what you're saying.
I was speaking to someone in Spanish once and I wanted to say I was joking, so I said, I'm pulling your leg. In Spanish, estoy girando tu pierna, and they didn't know what I was talking about.
No, of course.
I remember when I was in Mexico, I wanted to say that I was enthusiastic about something, and I said, I'll be in that like a rat up a drain pipe. Devora una tuberia de drenaje. And they looked at me really funny.
Really?
I thought that if you translate something, then people automatically understood it.
Yeah, but of course there are idioms in all languages that just don't translate, aren't there?
Yeah, like I was wandering around Tijuana once looking for Herb Alpert, and I said to a bloke, geez, I'm hungry, I could eat the crutch out of a low-flying duck.
Oh, yeah, that's very Australian.
But obviously, so he could understand it.
Yep.
I said it in Spanish.
John Blake will be back in January 2023. Just a text here from Tyson. Major roadworks on Beckman Street, Anzac Highway, ripping up the road down to one lane. That will be busy for peak hour this morning. Also, on your travels, if you do need some fuel, we have some petrol information for you. So find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Download the free My REA app from your app store today. At the United on Tapleys Hill Road in Seaton, $1.63. The BP Marion Road, Mitchell Park, $1.59. And the BP OTR Payne Road in Stepney, $1.61. Cheapest diesel, I'm getting excited by these cheaper diesel prices. The ex-convenience Main North Road in Jepps Cross, $1.91.
So some good bargains out there considering what we have had in the past 6 to 12 months. Lucy, might be a good time to fill up. Had a ball today. I think we might do it all again tomorrow.
Happy to come back for Tuesday?
Definitely.
Rennie and I will be back from 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Coming up next after the news, Graham Goodings.
G'day, Jim. How was your stay in the all-new Riverview Villa at the Berry Hotel?
Oh, Pete, it was very nice.
Very? Do you mean very, mate?
No, I mean very nice.